In 1920...
Good.
Lord of the Fleet. Yo. Let me get this thing going. And get to some solid JJ. So many things today. So many things. What's good, y'all?
This will be the last time that we talk about it.
Okay.
Who was that?
That was Lobo. He's in the movie.
Oh, cool. Does he join us? Is he gonna...
He's in the movie.
Ah.
So, who's the bad guy?
That would be Krem, leader of the Brigand, a tribe of human traffickers. Not that that's like a motivator for you. It's more that they fucked with your dog, but whatever.
Oh, God. Which one is he?
Oh, it's that one. You can tell by how many dots he has on his face.
Can you tell me anything more?
And as always, connexion, please.
By how many dots he has on his face.
Can you tell me anything more about him? Like, is he strong, or...?
He'll eat your food.
What?
See here in the trailer where he was eating
Straight
cereal from your
Trunks?
ship? Yeah, that wasn't like a cute moment. That's like one of his only 3 defining character traits. He does that like 4 times. He's a silly human trafficker.
Oh, okay, so where are they?
Oh, right over there. That's all of them.
That was surprisingly easy.
Yep, so as for a game plan, I was thinking that I would do absolutely nothing at all, and then you just one-tap all of them.
Okay, it can't be that easy.
No, they are literally no threat to you whatsoever. They have like
Jeez.
guns and swords and really nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah, the only thing we need to really worry about is...
Oh no, my powers! They're gone! Okay, I'm good now.
Yep, the biggest threat this entire movie is whatever son it happens to be, but guess what? You don't have to outsmart it or work against it or anything. You just have to fucking wait it out, because it's the sun!
So, ship?
Well, that's all of them.
That was fucking 4 grenades.
Yep, that's all it takes.
Gun soundtrack, let's go.
So is that it? Are they dead?
No, Krem's alive. But you know what? That's okay.
Huh?
Well, throughout this story, you've been telling me how revenge isn't the answer, and killing him wouldn't bring anyone back, and in the comic, you helped teach me to break the cycle of violence, and that killing him wouldn't actually be
I think I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna go stab him with that sword you have. I mean, I don't know.
Kind of goes against the message of the story that this whole movie is fucking based on, but whatever.
Yeah, cool message, but rule cool, you know, so.
Hey guys, it's been about 15 minutes, so just pop it in and remind the audience why they bought a ticket. This 2-minute rant was brought to you by Gamersubs and the flavor. I don't like the movie, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's not like the worst thing, you know. It's a 4 out of 10, maybe. It's just like really not good. I don't know. It's a boring, stupid movie. There's like no stakes to it. I wasn't a fan of it. If you're gonna go see it, I'd recommend you see it. Sorry if I spoiled the movie for you, but I mean, you had like I think a minute in, you should have realized something was amok.
Oh yeah. On to some Asmongold.
Ease has blessed us with yet another shit take on Twitter, this time alleging that black people benefit from systematic racism. We're going to debunk this nonsensical claim. And this time, I'll try to be as brief as I can for old double-digit IQ here, because my last video was too long for him. So I'll have to re-explain the start-stop buttons for you, Zach, because you were too pussy to respond to my previous video, where I cooked your monkey ass for over an hour. You know, the one where your excuse for ducking me was, "An hour is too long for me to grift." That's like 12 large Dr. Peppers, and even I can't rot my teeth out with that much. Isn't it strange how you respond to the video where I barely talk about you at all, where you lied and claimed I called you racist the whole video?
That's sad. Wow, mic drops, I know. So basically, this guy spent his entire video calling me racist.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Grimy. I'm sure he calls him ignorant all throughout the thing.
So that was a fucking lie.
But the video where I spent the length of a short film ramming my fist up your ass is the one you ran away from. So, since you missed it, red means shut the fuck up, I'm still talking. Green means it's your turn to speak. You seem to have difficulty understanding when someone hasn't finished making a point, so I have to get elementary on your ass. You are low IQ after all. Anyway, a few days ago, Zachariah here posted this tweet in response to Joe Bartolozzi refuting the claim that black people are more likely to commit crimes than white people. Let's have a listen.
Do not commit more crimes than white people on a personality basis. If you're going to say statistically they do, that is only because of impoverished areas in the lives that they've been given because of the implications that have been put on them through, what is it called? Systemic racism. They've been given a shit hand and therefore live in that shit hand and are more likely to commit crimes if they're impoverished, living in areas where they have to survive. If you were to take a group of people and put them in an impoverished area, they're likely to commit more crimes because they have not been helped in the way that they need to be. But if you meet a black guy on the street and you say to his face, he's more likely to commit a crime than you, you're fucking racist. Yes, whatever statistical fact you're going to throw is clouded by the idiocy of yourself to not recognize why that fact is in existence. Not because black people are genetically more likely to commit a crime. That's stupid.
So, Joe is obviously correct, but his argument can do with a bit of cleaning up, and that's what I'm here for. What Joe is referring to is the correlation of poverty and crime. This is a very well understood phenomenon that those placed under economic strain, limited opportunities, and weakened social structures often resort to property and violent crime. A large body of criminology and sociology research has found a consistent relationship between poverty, inequality, and crime across many different countries and ethnic groups. Studies from the United States, Indonesia, Latin America, Europe, and cross-national datasets all show that areas with higher poverty, unemployment, and economic deprivation tend to experience higher rates of certain crimes, particularly violent and property crime. A 2021 study published in the NLM found that more unequal societies tend to have higher crime, as well as lower social trust. Interestingly, the study also found that the more equal the distribution of resources, the higher the trust equilibrium, and that increasing punishment severity is not effective at this goal.
Bro,
and that particular
Blanca.
piece of information relates to our pal Pigpen here, where he has routinely argued for more severe punishment. Looks like the science
Not
disagrees with him.
Poverty, opportunity, and
Surprise,
skin color.
surprise. Anyway, similar findings have appeared in studies examining crime in Mexico,
that's Alpha
Indonesia,
3,
Canada, and across
Blanca.
the European Union, like this one here, where it's shown that people who are at risk of poverty report experiencing higher crime in their local area. So you see, this pattern is global and not unique to any ethnic group. Poor communities in parts of Eastern Europe and impoverished regions in Asia all experienced elevated crime rates compared to the wealthier populations around them.
Shocking.
The same socioeconomic mechanisms observed in poor Black American neighborhoods are observed worldwide amongst people of entirely different ethnicities and cultures. Even the white supremacist's favorite non-white country, Japan, experiences higher crime rates when poverty and unemployment rates rise, as shown in this study. Moving slightly west, South Korea is experiencing what they call a silver crime wave, where the rise of poverty and its aging population has seen a commensurate rise in crime. All of this does not mean poverty mechanically causes every individual to commit crime, nor does every poor community become highly violent. But the broader statistical relationship between resource deprivation and crime appears repeatedly across continents and populations. This is why many scholars argue that racial disparities in crime are better understood through the lens of concentrated poverty, inequality, historical segregation, and access to opportunity, rather than race
Shocking,
itself.
isn't it, Vigilante? For some reason, people that don't have money and the things that they need may end up in a position where they
The
take
reason
the
black
things, or
people
if
are
they don't have
associated
any
with crime in
outlooks
the United
for
States
any
is
better
because black
outcomes,
Americans
they
have
may just
historically
not care.
faced disproportionate levels of
Shocking.
concentrated poverty, segregation, underinvestment, and systemic exclusion from economic opportunity.
Which is why here in America, when we had some of the highest crime rates was during the crack epidemic and predominantly within very low income areas. But, you know, it's funny how these things correlate.
That criminologists and sociologists have repeatedly linked to higher crime rates across every population on Earth, regardless of ethnicity. Once Black American slaves were freed, they immediately faced discrimination, a lack of economic opportunities, exclusion from wealth-building institutions, segregated housing, unequal education, targeted policing, and widespread racial violence. Each of those things on their own contribute to poverty, which I have just proven correlates with crime. Black people were subjected to all of them at the same time. The United States created a permanent underclass in the form of Black Americans by freeing formerly enslaved people without providing meaningful economic restitution, equal protection under the law, or fair access to housing, education, and employment, while simultaneously enforcing systems that kept many Black communities segregated, impoverished, and politically marginalized. So,
No reparations
pop
needed, of
quiz,
course.
ass on mold. What do you do when you don't have access to decent education, can't get a job, live in a slum, and can barely feed yourself? Statistically, you turn to crime. It's not a black thing, it's a human thing. So this is what Joe was trying to communicate, that Black Americans face conditions that overwhelmingly correlate with higher crime rates, and that this is due to systemic racism. All those factors I just named were racist, and all of them were systemic. Redlining, or the process of systematically denying minority communities access to mortgages, loans, and investment based on their race, helped trap many Black Americans in impoverished and underdeveloped neighborhoods for generations. That is obviously racist, that is systemic because it was a government-sponsored organization that invented this, and it was legal. Systemic racism. The main way a family in the United States builds wealth is through real estate. If you own a home, you generally pass that home down to your children, and since your children are now not required to use the majority of their income for housing, they are able to save, invest, pursue education, start businesses, and accumulate wealth more easily themselves, creating a compounding cycle of generational wealth. If you routinely deny Black families the opportunity to own valuable real estate, you rob them of the opportunity to create generational wealth.
What is the racial wealth gap and why is everyone talking about it? The racial wealth gap is a measure of wealth inequality between racial groups in the US. Here's a prime example. Black families make up 14% of the population but own only 5% of American wealth, while white households make up 65% of the population but control 80% of the wealth. The gap traces back to the 1863 Emancipation Proclamation, which led to freedom for almost 4 million Black Americans. By 1860, their labor accounted for 60% of U.S. exports, $200 million
It's funny that he just
a
straight
year,
up has the
Black
red light,
Americans
green light
received
on the side
nothing.
with Zach's
No
stupid
land,
face on it.
no money. Without any money or land, how could newly free Black Americans create wealth? The second barrier to building wealth,
What up, Tina? How's it
housing
going? Long
discrimination.
time no see.
One significant driver to the racial wealth gap, as I mentioned before, is going to be home ownership. Home ownership is a significant driver of wealth, whereby every year of home ownership, homeowners gain about $14,000 in equity. Conversely, if you don't have access to home ownership, you don't have access to that type of equity and that cushion that you could get from having money saved from home ownership.
Also keeping in mind that having equity allows you to take out loans on property owned. So to be able to better yourself, open a business, and do other things with your life, it is good to have equity. If you keep people from having that equity, they're going to have worse outcomes over the long run. Yeah, but they just took the bootstraps. They gave you boots, no bootstraps.
Housing discrimination allows banks to deny home loans to the Black community through a practice called redlining. Redlining was a government-sponsored practice of denying mortgages and other financial services to segregated Black and brown neighborhoods. It's called redlining because bankers literally drew red lines around undesirable communities. One Black household in a middle-class community was enough to make the federal government deny mortgage loans in that area. As a result, Black families turned to predatory lenders or were shut out from home ownership completely.
And that was another thing that happened. So during the housing crisis, a lot of people ended up in the predatory loans that happened through the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac thing, and they lost their home during that because still up into the 90s and the 80s, it was very difficult for Black people to get homes.
Keep having to fight battles, but a lot of the things that have happened to Black folks in America were orchestrated. And they
what does that mean, Zephyr?
That was systemic. I mean, it wasn't like it just happened that way. It was designed to be that way.
And like all forms of systemic racism, the downstream effects are seen in the modern day. And by the way, this is the United States Treasury website literally admitting one of the factors for this gap is due to the United States government. They are admitting their policies stifled Black home ownership.
Well, I'll just probably watch it anyway in general.
Racism.
But yeah, you can hop in whenever. I'm chilling.
Now, back to Zach's dumbass tweet. The first.
See how he gives him the green light?
Systemic racism.
Green light.
Now, back to Zach's dumbass tweet. The first fucking line from this genius is that Black people benefit from systemic racism. Now, I know what Zach is trying to say here, that through policies like affirmative action, Black people benefit, and that because affirmative action is a governmental policy, that is systemic. The problem with this line of logic is that it's not racism. Yes, affirmative action effectively produced outcomes where an equally qualified white man could be disqualified for an equally qualified Black man, but this process also held that an equally qualified white woman would be chosen over an equally qualified Black man. In fact, white women were the largest beneficiaries of DEI and affirmative action policies. So by definition and by practice, affirmative action wasn't a systemically racist policy because all ethnic groups benefited from that policy and it disproportionately affected gender. So it is a lie that affirmative action was racist. The best you could argue here is that it is somewhat discriminatory towards white men, and white men specifically, because it literally benefits every single other group. And even then, that would be a lie, as affirmative action includes mandates for hiring veterans and people with disabilities. Both groups white men make up a significant portion. So no, affirmative action and DEI are not a form of...
Calling out the DEI is like, well, you just don't like DEI because you hate veterans is so much more fun than bringing up Black people, because literally all these things are not for Black people, yet they try to make it out like it's entirely about Black people.
systemic racism. And no, black people and other minority groups do not enjoy preferential treatment at the expense of white and Asian people. Like,
What up,
are
Toby?
you unaware that Asians are a minority group in the United States too? Why would you group those two together, Zach? Are you referring to the ridiculous Supreme Court ruling Students versus Harvard? Setting that aside for the moment, what other areas are black and Hispanic people benefiting at the expense of Asian people besides the overstated college admissions issue? Give examples. I'm sure everyone would like to hear them, Zach. And please, be very specific.
And I don't mean white people are big mad about that. I mean racists are.
Back to the Supreme Court issue, we currently have a compromised Supreme Court that is doing its damnness to implement overwhelmingly conservative policies and rulings. And
like, dead serious. Like, why are we shocked that the dude that signed up for multiple tours during a war and had a Nazi tattoo why, Tina? Why you make me auto mod? But yeah, the fact that this dude also had a Nazi tattoo, so he was there because he enjoyed the killing, got a Nazi tattoo, and then come to find out he's brutal to women. I'm shocked. Surprise Pikachu face.
these rulings almost always come at the expense of black Americans. Its ruling in Students v. Harvard was a joke because the prosecution's claim hinged on the idea that American institutions like Harvard already operate on a level playing field,
I never saw
which we know they don't. At Harvard specifically, there are legacy admissions, donor preferences, networking advantages, and wealth inheritance that
And the funnier thing about the Plattner situation, every single exposure that has been from an ex-girlfriend or someone he dated. So apparently it's pretty easy to figure out. Military dude with a Nazi tattoo could have fooled me. What up, Circa? Yeah, you can come on in whenever. Well, I'm going to finish up this video. You can come in and enjoy it along the way. And then I'm going to pull up the 500 Days of Corruption video.
Disproportionately benefit white students. Somehow, the group suing Harvard ignored all of that to focus on the 18% of the class of 2027 who were black.
He was saying all the things that
this number
pretty much
decreased
would have
to
got him elected.
14% after the Supreme Court's ruling.
You can kind of
the
tell
Asian
if it
cohort
walks like a
went
duck
from
and talks like a
37%
duck. Probably
to 37%. Literally zero change to them, but a 4% drop in black student admission. Which, if you haven't been paying attention, is the
Oh, Katie, I got a debate with Rob Noor tomorrow, and the prompt for the debate is Trump's administration and family are the most corrupt in modern history. Yeah, Katie can't help you with that one. She can just make it worse.
Fucking goal. The group that sued Harvard, Students for Fair Admissions.
See, she's already trying to make it worse.
This guy, Edward Blum, who has dedicated his entire career to dismantling progress in racial equality and specifically black representation. Bush versus Vera, a Supreme Court case against redistricting in Texas that sought to increase racial minority representation in Congress. Fisher versus University of Texas, another Supreme Court case regarding affirmative action in a college. Shelby County versus Holder, a Supreme Court case concerning pre-clearance, or the right of the federal government to approve of voting law changes of certain states that had a history of racial discrimination, i.e., the South. This one was important because it resulted in a landmark decision that allowed historically racially discriminant states in the South to fuck with voter ID laws, removing the most effective protection against racial voter suppression. Doesn't that sound familiar? The legacy of Edward Blum. That's this guy's entire goal, to roll back civil rights protections, especially those that affect or benefit black people. Just like I pointed out in my last video, it's a strange coincidence everything Zach promotes is backed by some white guy whose life goal is to shit on black people. So this is why Zach said white and Asian Americans in his tweet. Because like most people that promote white supremacist rhetoric, he's weaponizing Asian people against black and Hispanic people in the United States.
But it works
This
really
is a
well.
very common tactic known as the model minority myth. Zach nor Edward Blum give a flying fuck about Asian people. Asians are just a pawn in their game, a game that, when that game is won, will be turned against Asians. And unfortunately, some of them are too fucking stupid to recognize that.
But I want to be free.
All right, that covers that. Now, on to the corruption. We like corruption, right? Let me stream this into the channel so that it is on time. All right. And this happened, I want to say 2 weeks ago, when this was brought to my attention, is like, when you already know the events that happen, how has nobody taken any steps to stop this? Why is impeachment not on the table? Like, why are no other politicians really speaking out about this?
Colleagues, over the last year and a half, our president, Donald Trump, has turned the White House into a 24/7 corruption operation. This is a national crisis, and we should start acting like it. The president's goal is to engage in so much corruption, so much self-enrichment,
Hey, look what I can do.
to hand out so many favors.
Right, we got something from Zephyr, along with some bits, so, you know.
Dear T, for you.
When there's bits attached, I gotta watch it first.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Why is there no sound on this?
But corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But
Real
if
talk,
I'm
though.
part of that corruption, I'll defend it. Corruption.
To his friends, his family, and his
Real talk
political
on that.
allies, then it
Corruption
just
is only
becomes
bad if
the
I'm not involved.
pitter-patter of rain. It's normal.
those bits.
It's constant. It's never-ending. Trump's bet is that if there's a new story of corruption, of self-dealing, every few days, that the press will stop covering it, or the public will just stop paying attention.
That really does feel like the game plan. And I mean, I've heard the whole flood the zone thing and all that. But like in reality, it seems like they're throwing so much crime at the wall so that if anybody does call them out on any of it, or if you try to go after all of it, they just claim lawfare. And it's like, oh, well, they're just out to get him. He's not doing anything wrong. That is definitely the answer I understood, Zephyr. Thank you.
To an extent, he is tragically
And I mean, you don't have your hand in any of this, so I mean,
but he's
you
also
got to buy the
betting
dip.
that the public will just come to the conclusion that this is normal because all of our politics are this corrupt, that every senator, that every previous president is this corrupt. That is not true.
Patently untrue.
Well, I disagree with my Senate Republican
They're only kind of
colleagues' decision to largely remain silent in the face of this misconduct. It is true that not a single senator on either side of the aisle engages in the behavior that our president does. Senators, Republicans and Democrats, do not trade our votes for cash or for political contributions. We don't run side hustles like crypto companies.
For real, like what president needs a side hustle? What kind of crazy work is that? Worse than door dashing.
Senators don't give contracts to their kids just because we can. And no president in the history of this country has done what Donald Trump has done. No president has done 5% of the self-dealing that Donald Trump has done in the last year and a half. This moment is exceptional. It is a one-of-one moment. And if it becomes normal, if people stop being outraged at what he is doing to enrich himself, then I fear there is no going back. The White House will just become a place to get rich. So I think it's time to pull back and see the full picture. To not view this as just one isolated scandal after another, every single one popping up each week or every few days, but to understand the full scope of this illegality.
500 days
Last
of corruption.
year, I came to the floor to document the first 100 days of Donald Trump's mind-blowing corruption. Since then, especially in 2026, the pace of his misconduct has quickened dramatically. And so I'm here on the floor today, and I'm going to spend more than a few minutes doing this, laying out what has happened since I gave that last speech. This is the story of 500 days of corruption. And I'm going to start on April 7th, 2025. This is when the current acting Attorney General, Todd Blanche, issues a memo ordering the termination of several Biden-era DOJ investigations into crypto companies.
Wonder why.
Now, here's the problem. The then Deputy Attorney General is a major investor in crypto companies, and he works for a president who is a major player in the crypto industry. But DOJ just drops these investigations, signals that the Department of Justice is no longer going to hold crypto companies accountable. But Blanche owns major investments in crypto stocks. The president is one of the biggest players in the industry. Blanche doesn't actually stop there. He eliminates the entire enforcement team at DOJ dedicated to rooting out crypto-related fraud and money laundering schemes. This is a crypto investor who works for a president who owns crypto companies, shutting down the unit at DOJ that holds this industry accountable.
Seems convenient. Maybe it's a coincidence.
To 3 weeks later, on April 30th, later in the month, a curious announcement from the Department of Agriculture. They are reversing a rule that would require poultry companies to limit salmonella bacteria levels in their products. This is essentially a rule to make it less likely that people will get salmonella poisoning. It sounds like a strange rule to eliminate. We come to find out that one of the biggest donors to Donald Trump's inauguration was a poultry company called Pilgrim's Pride. They made a donation to Trump's inauguration that was bigger than practically any other company, bigger than Amazon, Meta, or Exxon, $5 million. And after they made the donation, they asked for one thing, the reversal of this salmonella rule.
And, like, I talk to people pretty regularly about regulations, and people say, oh, regulations make it impossible to do business in America. The wealthy in America leave because of the regulations. Yeah, they don't want the regulations because they'd rather cut corners, make more money, and don't care if you get sick because it's easier to pay for the lawsuit and settle out of court while they continue to rake in cash.
And they got it. This is pay for play. You make a donation to the president or the president's political operation, you ask for a favor, and you get it. And we will see as we wind through these 500 days, this happens over and over again. In May 2005, the pardon racket starts. Every member of the Senate should be outraged at this. You all know what is happening. The president is pardoning people based on their ability to pay, either him and his political operation or pay people who are close to the president. On May 27th, Donald Trump pardons a man called Paul Walzak. This is a really bad guy. He stole millions of dollars from the nurses and healthcare aides at the nursing home he owned. And he used the cash that he stole from his employees to buy a $2 million yacht. He got convicted. He went to jail for fraud. But his mother paid $1 million to buy a face-to-face meeting with Donald Trump. And 3 weeks after that paid audience, her son was given a full and unconditional
She must have been able to get a house.
that went so far as to relieve him of any duty to pay back the $4.4 million that he stole from his employees. This is a new pay for pardons scheme that begins in May. In June of 2025, it's revealed that top administration officials are cashing in on government contracts that benefit their own investment portfolio. Stephen Miller is more than just the architect of the administration's hardline immigration policies. He has a personal financial stake in them. For instance, Miller owns up to $250,000 in Palantir stock. And just a month before Miller's holdings became public, ICE announced that it was awarding a $30 million contract to, you guessed it, Palantir, to provide real-time surveillance information to ICE officers. And you'll be shocked to hear this, there was no competitive bidding process for that contract. And you'll hear this over and over again. Competitive bidding basically doesn't exist. If the president or somebody close to the president wants a contract directed to a friend or to a company in which they invest, Miller overseeing ICE, ICE gives a no-bid contract to Palantir. The investors in Palantir, which include Stephen Miller, get rich. Let's move to September of 2025. In September, we start to learn the danger of Donald Trump's crypto corruption. I covered this in the first 100 days of corruption. This is maybe the most corrupt thing that Trump is doing. He and his family own a crypto company that issues several crypto coins. There's no disclosure on who is buying those coins. The president promotes them. He invites people to official events who purchase the coin. On September 18th, though, we come to find out that Trump made $57 million selling crypto tokens to entities associated with the regimes in North Korea, Iran, and Russia. Extraordinary investments being made by entities that are tied in with North Korea, Iran, and Russia into Trump's crypto companies. It begs the question, as we are currently debating an Iran deal that basically exists on Iran's terms, why was there a flood of money from Iranian regime-backed entities into the Trump crypto companies? Why were they putting that investment in? What did they expect to get from the president? We've never, ever before had this exist. We've never had a backdoor mechanism by which foreign governments could just shovel money into the pocket of the president. It exists because of the Trump's meme coin and his stable coin. On September 23rd, this is a week later, it's now pretty obvious that there's a pay-to-play regime in charge of the White House. A week later, on September 23rd, Donald Trump closes the books on a criminal investigation into one of his key advisors, Tom Homan. This is his border czar. The FBI
you think the Republicans are going to say anything?
Tom Homan red-handed, engaging in naked corruption. Undercover agents had handed him $50,000 in cash, in a bag, and he agreed to give them government contracts. This was on video. This is the border czar getting a bag of cash in exchange for contracts on video, but the administration on September 20th just makes the investigation go away because that kind of bribery, that kind of naked graft
What does he keep
is
saying
okay
naked?
in this White House. We're moving on to October 2025 right now, 2 weeks after Homan is let off. Maybe the most nakedly corrupt pardon. A single senator that could defend this. Cheng-Peng Zhao built an entire business based on allowing terrorists, drug traffickers, and sex predators to use his cryptocurrency to evade the law. He went to jail for this.
Big fat pardon.
But he also helped Trump launch his crypto business. So who cares about financing terrorists and sex criminals? Trump gives this guy a full pardon.
I will hold my breath,
7th.
Mike.
It's naked. This is a guy who built a company
Keep saying naked.
that allowed terrorists and sex predators to engage in private financing. He went to jail. He got out of jail because he agreed to help get Trump rich. We're still in October. Later that month, the bulldozers arrived to destroy the East Wing of the White House. It's still amazing to think that that actually happened. And the ballroom corruption racket begins. The word goes out, if you want something from Donald Trump, donate to his ballroom. It's all he cares about. We know that. Donald Trump talks about his ballroom all the time. As of this month, more than half of the publicly identified donors to the Ballroom Project have, since they made their donation, won a new or expanded federal contract, totaling more than $50 billion. More than half of the people who donated to the Ballroom have, since they donated, and this just all kicked off on October 15th. This has only been like 8 months. Half of the people who donated to the Ballroom have gotten a new or expanded federal contract worth $50 billion.
Sounds like it's working.
Moving on to November of 2025. It's not just Trump's corporate donors that are getting rich now. Part of the White House's daily operation is to find creative ways to funnel taxpayer money to Trump's kids. This one's wild. The Trump administration in November, early November, announces a really unusual deal. The government, the Pentagon, is taking a $50 million stake in a single rare earths minerals company called Vulcan Elements and giving them a $620 million taxpayer-funded loan. That is big money. And the Pentagon doesn't really do deals like this. But they do when Donald Trump Jr. is one of the company's key investors. We come to find out that civil servants in the Pentagon did not want to do this deal, only did it because the White House told them to do the deal. One official said, quote, "The call came from the White House. We have to get this done." Before the deal, Vulcan was worth $200 million. Donald Trump Jr. made an investment. His father got the Pentagon to give them the contract. And
see, right here is where I'm like, of all the talk of Hunter Biden, who, for all intents and purposes, was not working for the White House, was not working with his father, was using his father's name and credibility to get jobs elsewhere, even outside of the country, was not making the amount of money that Donald Trump's family is making alongside the grift that he's running. So it's pretty clear to see the corruption is not just the administration, it's also the family. I don't even know if this dude gets into anything that's going on with Jared Kushner. Like, all of this can't be ignored, and there's no way this brazen grift can continue on without anybody saying anything. Well, at least this dude's saying something, but I would like a Republican to say something at some point.
Buy the stake in the company, and the valuation jumped overnight $200 million to $2 billion. Donald Trump Jr. 10x'd his profits. I mean, how does anybody in this body justify that? You've probably not even heard that story. It barely cracked the news. Like, in normal times, that scandal alone, the president's son
that ends political careers.
Company, the federal government then making a massive investment subsequently. The Pentagon didn't want to do it, only did it because the president told them to do it after his son made the investment, and the value of the president's son's investment went up by 10 times. That scandal alone would take down a presidency. This one barely gets noticed. 3 days later, News breaks that Trump has ordered all the markets in U.S. Coast Guard bases and facilities to stock his personally branded wine and cider, directly profiting from his control over the military. Tells the Coast Guard, sell my products. That's it. That's not a complicated one. That's just like ordinary ho-hum corruption. Nobody even knows that that happened, that exists, because this all feels normal now. We are not out of November yet, fellas. 2 weeks later, you feel this, right? The pace now is quickening. Trump releases the head of a nursing home empire, Joseph Schwartz, from prison. This guy, similar to the other guy, scammed his patients, his employees, and the IRS out of tens of millions of dollars. He was a tax cheat. People died in his facilities due to his negligence. He was just stealing money from his nursing homes. But he paid $1 million to Trump-connected lobbyists. And Trump pardoned this fraudster after serving 3 months. There was no claim that he was innocent. There was no claim that the trial was rigged. No, this guy was convicted of massive fraud. He hurt people. And he got out of jail because he paid the right lobbyists who were connected to Trump. This is how it all works. It's not just Trump getting rich. It's not just Trump's sons getting rich. It's about everybody connected to the president getting rich. This pardon for cash scheme. All right, we're into December now. 2 weeks later, out of the blue, the Trump administration revokes a Biden-era rule, this is back to nursing homes, to ensure that nursing homes have sufficient staffing to meet the basic standards of care. We have a lot of evidence that understaffed nursing homes have higher mortality rates, but this rule is now rescinded. And guess what we find out? We find out that nursing home executives got together, paid to have a private lunch with Donald Trump, because remember, you can pay millions of dollars to Trump-affiliated political entities, and you will get a private audience with them. At lunch, they asked him to revoke this rule, and he immediately ordered it done. No public discussion, no consideration of the merits. The nursing home executives paid the price to get a lunch. They asked for the rule to be rescinded, and the rules got rescinded. No process, had the lunch, paid the money, asked for the rule to be rescinded, Trump called up, and the rule was rescinded. We're now in 2026. On February 10th, Trump announces that he is, this one's wild, he announces on February 10th that he is blocking the opening of a bridge that is ready to open connecting Detroit to Canada. It's ready to open. This is a bridge that's going to help people on both sides of the border. And guess what we find out? The owner of an existing bridge, whose profits would be harmed by the competitor bridge, donated $1 million to get a meeting, this time with Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. And this isn't within days this time, within hours of the meeting with the Commerce Secretary. Hours. The owners of the existing bridge got what they wanted. Trump announced that he would block the opening of the bridge. $1 million, a meeting, and a donor gets what they want within hours. The next month, we start to see that Trump's inner circle knows that they can get in on the action. Very few people are closer to President Trump.
I have no reason to debate him.
And he is, at the time, the special advisor
I think he's
to the
based,
Secretary of
except for when
the
he keeps
Department
saying
of Homeland
naked.
Security. And Lewandowski is basically like, there are no rules anymore. I can do whatever I want. And so he literally starts to engage in mob-style extortion threats to contractors. He demands direct
Mob-style
payments
threats
from companies that want DHS contracts for his protection. If you pay me money, I will protect your contracts. And there's plenty of evidence here from the companies themselves who tell the story of when they refuse to pay Lewandowski for protection, mob-style protection. Suddenly, their contracts from DHS dry up. A DHS employee confirmed that he received direct instructions to not give a company that didn't pay Lewandowski any more contracts. In April,
I'm literally watching stuff about
another scheme to help
what this
Donald
debate's
Trump's
going to be
kids.
about.
For almost 100 years, it has been illegal to ship handguns through the mail because it's a lot easier for violent criminals to illegally access guns if they can just get those weapons shipped to their front door. But Donald Trump Jr. bought a huge stake in a company that was going to corner the market on the mail order sale of guns. And so Trump's DOJ got...
Like, seriously, why is mail order guns okay? Like, I understand Second Amendment and all, but you should have to go to a store and buy your gun yourself. Like, mail order gun seems like a recipe for problems.
...to work and declared that this 100-year-old law is magically, all of a sudden, unconstitutional, clearing the way for another company owned or invested in by Donald Trump Jr. to make big bucks by mailing guns. We're still in April.
Still in
As
April.
the war begins in Iran, Trump's inner circle finds a new way to cash in. They can place bets on prediction markets or in futures markets based on the inside information they have about the war. This is illegal war profiteering. Hours before Trump announces the first Iran ceasefire, a bunch of investors, likely inside the White House, placed approximately $950 million on bets that oil prices would fall. When later that day, Trump announced the ceasefire,
exactly,
that sent oil prices tumbling by 15%, those investors got filthy rich.
Hiding in the fucking...
What's up, Circa?
What's her name? Can't fucking come in here? Is that what's happening?
That's exactly why. This is always the protocol.
The fucking hilarious.
No, this isn't like a sometimes thing. This is an always thing. If I am live, I am in this room. It is safe.
Let's see here. What's probably the best way for me to still... Are you watching, what is this, the corruption thing?
Yeah. Did you want to finish it? Or...
Oh, this is... You can finish it. You can finish it. Yeah, the Murphy thing.
Yeah, I'll throw it in here so you're not on delay.
Yeah.
Because homie is killing it. And we're 3/4 of the way through with it.
Almost went to the fucking AFK one.
All good. All right, playing it. Tell me if you want me to pause. Close this game.
I'm like, I don't see. You're not playing it yet? What are you talking about? Huh?
No, I had a lag when so many things start up at the same time. My system lags.
People's names. Probably pop this out.
Exactly. It's frozen in like the weirdest position.
Dude, this is how big
You
it
can
is.
literally look at the pace of trades that day. There's this avalanche of trades that happen hours before Trump announces the ceasefire. That can only be because people...
Pause it, run it back. Why is my system acting crazy right now?
I don't know, man.
Probably because it's hot.
Yeah, it is hot, right? Freaking this bullcrap.
Still over 80 degrees right now.
Yeah, but it feels like 100 with the freaking humidity.
Dude, I don't understand why we have humidity like this in California. It is not common.
Bullshit.
All right, I should be able to play it now. Let's
sent
see.
oil prices tumbling by 15%. Those investors got filthy
Nope,
rich.
it's still
You can literally
choppy.
look at the pace of trades that day. There's this...
Let me close Steam.
Zoom. I'm zooming.
It's got to be my system.
Stream specific. It might be you stream in multiple places.
Oh, you think it's because I'm multi-streaming? Or because the stream is in the Discord? All right, let me close the one in the Discord. And then see if this works out. Pausing. Yep, that might be the problem.
That's okay.
Avalanche of trades that happen hours before Trump announces the ceasefire. That can only be because people had inside information. This practice would continue to happen over and over and over. But why do they think they can get away with this? Why does anybody think that they can get away with this? So much of this is illegal, right? You would say to yourself, nobody would engage in that kind of naked illegal
He said naked again.
Practice. Nobody would award contracts.
Do you want to try the
kids,
knock thing?
Knowing that that
I think I can
pass
join your
legal
stream. And just
muster.
listen. I think that might work, right?
That should work.
So I knocked. Knock, knock, knock.
Opening stream together. Why must it act this way?
Oh, did you go to my stream?
No, I just opened it and it's giving me stream together should not be captured as a single browser source. Please use stream together in one browser window, yada yada yada. I don't know why, but it should be.
Here, how about this? I ended the collaboration. You go to my stream and knock and see if that changes it.
Go to yours.
Knock.
And I will knock there.
Oops.
There it goes.
Join. There we go.
And you're
there we go. Did you share the chat or whatever? I don't even know if you want to share chat. I got some psychos in my chat.
No, I appreciate the psychos in your chat, especially Molotov.
Molotov.
Dude, I tried to talk to Stream Riff yesterday. He was too busy to talk to me. He was getting yelled at by his wife or something. I don't know.
Two going on.
All right, running it. Watch stream together, screws it up again.
On April 10th, you figure out why they think they're going to get away with it.
There we go. It's kind of working.
On April 10th, Donald Trump makes an explicit promise.
Molotov? What do you mean Lethe is an idiot?
That everybody engaged in this corruption will get away with it. Here is his quote on April 10th, as the pace of this corruption increases. Quote, I will pardon everyone within 200 feet of the White House. So now you understand why people think they can get away with it. This is reported on April 27th. So we're still in April. Trump wants to get all his friends involved in the grift now. So Trump gives a no-bid $17 million contract to refurbish two fountains near the White House, including the reflecting pool.
Are you playing the video?
Yeah.
We're living with the consequences of this corruption right now, as we have a green reflecting pool.
We're at the green reflecting pool.
This is a completely unqualified contractor.
Video's almost over.
Who is already in over his head because he's involved in the ballroom.
Oh, that's
and
when,
he gets a new $17 million contract.
The Olympian fucking reached in and grabbed a piece.
Yeah, that's the one.
Uniform, like, how are you? Get over here.
Apparently the same contractor for the ballroom is the one that also did what was supposed to be done to the reflecting pool and just did a piss poor job. And pieces of the blue that they tried to cover up the green with started flaking off. And then they blamed vandals, and I think they arrested an Olympian for it. Freaking ridiculous.
cost $17 million to clean up fountains? The answer from the National Park Service itself is no. In fact, the National Park Service was planning to bid that contract out for 1/5 what Trump gave it to his friend for.
So bad.
But it was a no-bid contract. It just went to Donald Trump's friend. The value was wildly inflated. And
Bro,
so
I was joking
now
earlier,
Trump's
Molotov.
buddy
Why are you
has an
making that
extra
shit real, bro?
$14 million, more than the actual cost of the project. It's your money. Money doesn't grow on trees. This is taxpayer money. It's supposed to cost $3 million. He gave the contract for $17 million.
Why is this making my day?
We're still in April.
Such a dork.
Big Tobacco has wanted for years to break into the
Give some piano music while we wait.
$6 billion flavored vape and e-cigarette market. But the FDA, of course, has had regulations to say that you can't sort of run back this old playbook.
Oh,
of the
that is
tobacco
straight
companies
up
marketing
illegal in
to kids.
California.
So we haven't allowed them to market these flavored vape products, these bubblegum flavored vape products. I have 2 teenagers. I know exactly what's going on. They are marketing these products to kids, and they weren't allowed to do it. But the tobacco lobbyists did the thing that we've talked about over and over again. They made a $5 million donation, and if you make a $5 million donation, you get a lunch with the president or a dinner with the president. So they get this lunch with the president, and they say to the president, just like the nursing homes executive said, I want the vape rule to be rescinded. Surrounded by these big tobacco representatives, President Trump, like at the moment, calls the FDA commissioner and tells them to rescind the regulations. He calls up Dr. Oz. Like, all this is happening immediately. Tells him to rescind the regulations. The FDA commissioner resigns in protest. He said, in good conscience, he couldn't do this. He couldn't be part of this kind of corruption. But on Friday, the FDA announced that it was bypassing all traditional rulemaking to adopt the exact policy that the tobacco executives asked for the weekend before. Less than a week. Less than a week. No rulemaking. FDA commissioner resigns. We're now on to May.
Screen. Just my fucking stupid
Not
ass
all
face.
the stories of the corruption in this White House require deep journalistic dives into obscure public records. Sometimes you can just log on to YouTube, where you can find the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy's family road trip reality show. Who is bankrolling this stunt? Who's paying for the gas, the hotels, the cameras, filming his vacation? Not Duffy. It's Toyota, it's Boeing, it's United Airlines. It's all the companies that Secretary Duffy is responsible for regulating.
Bro, this is turning into idiocracy. We're going to have politicians sponsored by X company. They're going to have jackets with all the patches from all the companies they're sponsored by.
Prices are going up. Transportation costs
Murphy's,
are going up.
I think one of the only, him and at least Senators Warren, Warren, very well equipped. She's on the finance and banking committee, right? She understands this stuff pretty well. She's probably done most of the what are they called, forms to like do oversight or like requests for like Trump's crypto dealings and stuff. But ultimately, she can't get shit. It's annoying.
Yeah, because they're blocking it. Like, seriously, we need to hold all of them accountable. Everybody that had a hand in making sure this didn't come to light or wasn't prosecuted should be on the chopping block for whatever happens going forward.
Yep.
Which unfortunately probably nothing will, and we'll go through another 2.5 years of Trump, and he'll just get out rich if his health holds that long, or he goes the way of Mitch McConnell.
And the Secretary of Transportation is riding in snowmobiles in Montana paid for by the companies he regulates. Decades ago, that scandal alone, companies you regulate paying for your vacation.
He'll just, for once in his entire life, do the thing that he's never done and never even attempted to. And like at the end of his life, he's going to change. No sense to me.
I mean, there's
go
not a
smash
whole
your
lot
head
left.
against the wall, bro, and fucking Descartes yourself into some mental asylum.
that would be the only time in which he's actually honest, is if like something happens, he gains dementia, like full-blown dementia, and just can't lie anymore. That's the only way we're gonna get any reality out of this.
I mean, he can't lie to begin with right now, man. Whenever you watch Trump, he's incapable of actually lying. He like needs to take the the pride in doing it. So he like lies and then goes like, but like not really though. just he'll just add on another thing like, but actually I kind of was. If I was going to, it's like the OJ book. If I did do the murder, right? He does it after every sentence. It's hilarious.
He says the quiet part out loud way too often, and if he doesn't do it, somebody else in his administration does it.
I swear to God, man, I think I've watched more Trump than anyone on the.
Bro, I was watching you watch Trump the other day, and I was getting brain cancer.
He's sometimes he's content, but like he's difficult. He's difficult, man.
Freaking ridiculous.
Would have resulted in a cabinet member resigning in disgrace. My Republican colleagues know this. This didn't used to be acceptable. But in Trump's White House, everyone has their hand out for a payday. It's encouraged. And then finally in May, we discover another monster corruption scheme. The market bets based on inside information have not, in fact, been limited to Trump's staff and friends. The entire time that Trump has been in office, we discover, he has not been putting his money into a blind trust. He has been personally signing off on thousands and thousands
I forgot
of
about the
individual
blind
trades.
trust that Trump supposedly was supposed to have his
previous
assets in when he
president
first got in
has done
office.
this.
What do you mean you forgot about it?
I mean, it was a
Here's an
long
example
time
of
ago,
how
and a
it
lot of
works.
stupid things have happened since
Early
then.
in the year, Trump buys $1 million of Dell stock.
I'm
A
disappointed
couple
in
days
you, okay?
later,
It's
from
hard
the
to keep
White House
track of,
podium, he boosts
every
the
other
company,
trust he has as
Dell,
well.
that he just bought stock in.
The Trump fucking
A couple months later, he
looks
gives
good
Dell
trust.
a $10 billion defense
one.
contract with the Pentagon. That happens over and over again. The president buys stock, he publicly boosts the company, he gives government work. I know all this feels exhausting, 500 days of corruption, but we've never, ever seen this before. I only listed like half of the publicly disclosed incidents of corruption. And we just can't pretend that this is normal. I'm giving a half an hour to this because this is a serious, serious crisis. The pay-to-play schemes, the pardons for donors, the contracts for friends, the favors for Trump's children, the use of inside information to make money. This is not a disconnected series of scandals. This is a system. Government is supposed to serve us. It is supposed to lower costs, it's supposed to protect our families, strengthen our schools, make life better for people. But Donald Trump believes that government exists to serve him, to make him richer, to protect his friends, to reward his donors. This is why he doesn't have time for you. He doesn't have time to solve real problems.
He's not trying to solve real problems.
Money for himself and his friends.
He's making problems. He is the problem.
Will be so constant that we stop hearing it. That the outrage will just turn into exhaustion, and the exhaustion will just turn into acceptance. We can't let that happen. Because once corruption becomes normal, it becomes permanent. The White House is not a business opportunity. The presidency is not a license to steal from the American people. The government of the United States doesn't exist to make Donald Trump rich. It belongs.
Are you sure?
Because
it seems to be doing it really well.
And after 500 days of corruption, Democrats and Republicans in this body, along with the American people, should start acting like it.
All right, video over. So, do you want to turn on cam in the Discord and then we just chop it up in the Discord?
Oh, so I was muted. Yeah, I'm down.
Let me switch the input.
Let me put my ugly face there.
Better looking than me.
I feel so much better already.
All right.
I need to fucking pop it out, dude. Pop it out. Why is my face so?
Why is my camera not working? Oh, wait.
The sales tax on groceries wouldn't help grocery owners. Grand. It's kind of a problem. Dude, failed to restart camera. Is that a you problem?
Yep, that's a me problem. Try it again now that I'm not on that scene. There we go. All better.
Big. We're big.
Giant dome.
I just have your face on.
They're sitting here arguing about landlords. Like, literally the idea that all of the equity and wealth that comes with property allows for landlords to leverage more properties, gain more properties, and own slums in some cases, which, along with the rent that they charge, is pretty unfair.
Fucking going ham already. Landlords was a problem. It's been a problem since like the earliest economists that I can think of. Even Adam Smith, Ricardo more so though, were like really worried about landlords in the future. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, when all of a sudden rent is like, I think in California they removed the necessity for you to make 3 times the amount of rent to be able to rent somewhere because they knew they wouldn't be able to rent any property to anyone.
It's not a necessity though. That's a business practice. Best business practice. That's all that one is.
Seriously.
All right, so what do you oh wait, you don't want to talk here about your debate that much, do you?
I mean, I doubt Rob Noor or anybody that's going to be talking to Rob Noor is going to be mentioning anything.
Heck yeah.
I mean, sure, they can give him a heads up.
Corruption, baby. What else we got?
Yeah, I was just watching that video on corruption, and might have hit me up earlier about the pardons. And so the pardons he mentioned were Jinping Zhao.
I put that in the markdown for you.
See, you're way ahead. Trevor Milton.
Get fucked, Mido.
David Gentile, and the HDR Global Trading Limited.
Yeah.
Dude, this document is insurmountable.
I don't know, man. I do cross-X's on my whiteboard, right? Because I feel like it helps me get the traps in. Because a good cross-X is, I mean, the best design you can hope for is one where the outcome or the trap is an unspoken one. That's really the best type of cross-X, where you don't actually have to tell anyone listening, like, oh yeah, this is where I fucking fuck you, right? Like a good cross-X is where you let them say it, and then you just kind of look at the camera and go, wow. And I think a lot of those are pretty bad, bro, especially the first one.
Yeah, foreign payment and access to the economy is very strong. And then, like, here's where, so there's so many modules. I doubt we'll even get through 3 of them because of the way Rob argues. But I really want to get to 15.
You want to get to 15? Well, you don't have to treat it like chronological order. My audio isn't coming through?
Should be coming through on my end.
It's not. It looks like it is for me.
Can you hear him on my screen?
Vigi, explain. Oh, it's you. It's you, isn't it? Check. I can hear me.
And I hear him just fine.
What the fuck? Need your brain rechecked, Vigi. Change box is strange. So you don't use them in on chronological use it like a module jump. That's why I put a table of contents. So like, if you guys are adjacent conversation talking about like cabinet spending, like the Tom Price thing.
Can we go straight to module
like
14?
Yeah, or something like Biden, just fucking run to it. Yeah, it's 15, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
15 is crypto.
Honestly, all of those are bad. All of them are bad.
Yeah, all of it's bad. Dude, there's so freaking much. Like I knew it was bad. It's fractally bad. It's a kaleidoscope of bad. And I don't know how it's gone on this long.
I mean, just normalization and then the epistemic capture, of like a fascist movement again, right? So fascist movements insulate themselves from truth because
Hey, look what I can do.
they don't really care about truth, right? They care more about dissent, being cast as an enemy.
For you.
So you can achieve that destiny, right? It's necessary. It's fun. It's fun.
Like part of the
famous
issue,
Ben Shapiro line.
like I want to say it was during his first administration, we would get into arguments with people like Lactoid and other individuals in the space that would kind of
Who the fuck is
run cover.
Lactoid?
You don't know Lactoid? You called him Blactoid.
It's not black. Shit.
My goodness.
Dude.
I don't think truth exists. Truth is not a tangible property. Truth is an explanation of that which comports with reality. Goofy.
You know what? You know what, Lethe? I don't think you've grounded truth inside of the immaterial mind that is God, which is the only logical place it can go.
But yeah, so people
Or
like
better known
Lactoid.
as my butt crack.
Got to take it to the root.
Anyways, what's
the
his
core.
name? Black kid? What's his name?
Lactoid, like milk.
Lactoid.
Yeah,
why
he's
why would you ever name yourself Lactoid?
That's what his name is on Twitch. He's been around for a really long time. He's a lawyer and tends to be
He's a lawyer.
Yeah. All the lawyers seem to be pretty pro-Trump. So he would usually say that any, suit or any issue that's going on with Trump is because of lawfare, and that we're going after Trump, for trumped up reasons, and anything that happens afterwards is just because of that. Don't tell him about dog warts.
Or hear me out, okay? So like parsimony, okay? What is the most parsimonious answer we have? Maybe he's just a fucking criminal. He just commits crimes. And he does it like blatantly because he's always gotten away with it. It's not really that complex, I think. I think people try and make it more complex.
I mean,
like he like brags about it.
Pretty much. And then he starts demonizing anybody that went after him, like him going after what's his name, Comey, for some
that was
bells
wild.
in the sand.
Have you read into Comey's story, like what actually happened?
No, what actually happened?
Comey's a really tall guy, man. He's like 6'8" or 9, I want to say.
Jeez, are you
he's
serious?
Tall, or like 6'7". He's definitely like 6'7" or above. So he's a tall guy, and he says that I remember him saying he got a call like randomly to have dinner at the White House, okay? And when he gets there, he was told, or he was under the impression it was going to be like a public, multiple, not like an escort visit, okay? like, which, I'm not going to say that's what it ended up being, but but he thought it was going to be a lot of people there. He thought it was a little weird to be personally called, and he shows up, and it's just like, think Beauty and the Beast style, like table arrangement with like just 2 big chairs.
Trump stroking a cat.
He walks in and he's just like, "What the fuck is this?" And Trump's like, "I can expect loyalty from you, right?" And inside of the meeting or whatever. And
oh, the loyalty meeting, I remember that.
Yeah, the loyalty meeting. That's exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Him like talking about it's hilarious too. Because there's like those photos of him towering over Trump, right? Like he literally is like massive, bro.
I just looked it up. He's 6'8". Good God.
6'8", bro. He's fucking
crazy.
Can you imagine Trump? I bet he got so insecure when he met him.
Yeah, because technically,
like, someone get me a step stool.
He lies and says he's taller than he is. He's like 6'2". He claims he's 6'4". He's around 6'4" people that are towering over him. Dude, I got homies that are 6'7". They can pick me up like a small child, like, and I'm 6'4".
6'4". He's not. He's not my height, dude. Oh, you. Okay. I was like, Trump is not 6'4".
Yeah, you and I both 6'4". We both know better than this. We be looking
Probably
up
like
at Comey.
6'3.5". I don't know. I'm I just gotta
Give
be
or take. We always round up for that.
Yeah, we always round up.
But 6'2" does not round up to 6'4". Not in any world.
Yeah, well, it does on Tinder. There's also like I put multiple things for the WLF stuff, and then I also, if you notice it for its like sourcing, it says file site turn 68 file 0. That's trying to link a local file which I made on my computer. I can send you that if you'd like.
Yeah, please. And we can bring up stuff on stream. Okay, Vigi's telling me that your audio is still messed up on your stream, but not here. So I don't know if you have a channel messed up or because you're not muted in the Discord at all, and it's just a regular old Discord, so you shouldn't have any issues.
All right, Vigi, I'm gonna finish this.
Or Vigi's trying to protect Trump, and he's
my girlfriend Vigi says that you suck and my audio is fine, so I hope you feel good.
Did you mute stream, Vigi, from your tabs?
Yeah, what is happening, Vigi?
Like, he just DM'd me back.
Hello? You guys. All right.
Yeah,
from now on, Vigi is no longer, his opinions don't matter.
I can't agree to that entirely. But yeah, you got business, family access. So I definitely want to get into the family access portion of it because that is one of the claims that I'm making in the prompt itself, that him and his family are the most corrupt in modern history. What should I narrow down to modern history? Because I'm thinking from World War II up.
So module 10 has a comparator. I put a comparator one. I think 10. Nixon and Reagan are the best comparators as far as like certain styles of obstruction or abuse of power. Reagan's secrecy with the Iran-Contra deal is probably the most blatant, like secret, subversion thing. And then Nixon is still the strongest.
Suffer says in any democracy since ancient Rome. Yeah, I would say he makes Nixon blush.
The core question. Yeah, the core question I put is which modern administration and family combined more corruption categories than Trump's. So I chose the word category there because like it easily lets you go like, well, how about obstruction can be a category, right? And then a sequence that's, oh my god, I put so many sequence questions, bro, where you can just like fucking just keep going. Or if he doesn't want to answer one, you just go, fine. What about the next one? How about Nixon's? You don't want to say it's fine. How about Reagan? How about is he comparator? Did Reagan try to overturn an election law? Just like keep going.
It's ridiculous. It was his PC. I feel like that he muted you on stream.
Oh, he did? Yeah. Why'd you mute me?
You might be listening to both streams and like just chose yours over
also
mine.
The Bannon Navarro stuff. So Bannon, Navarro, and one other guy. I can't remember his fucking name, but I didn't want to put too many people there. They both were sentenced to prison because they didn't comply with the subpoena from the January 6th committee. So the best way to present this is like, okay, so why would someone choose to go to prison instead of just coming in to tell the truth? Is probably the best way to present this one.
Because you probably get more time if you came in to tell the truth.
Well, I mean, that's not what they say though, right? Like if you think you have the truth, why would you literally just risk prison over just coming in and telling the truth? So there was some lawful subpoenas, okay, documents, as well as failing to come into Congress, okay. Peter Navarro, both of them just chose prison. And
that's
the
crazy.
sequence for this one, it's literally crazy, because if you really think you did nothing wrong, man, January 6th committee is not really like a criminal case. Okay. So it's not like you're incriminating yourself in a way. There's obviously some transposition between like judicial hearing and the January 6th committee, but they're not the same. So like all you have to do is just come in and give documents and then tell your story. And if you didn't do anything wrong, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you aren't
Certainly wouldn't choose prison. I fucking like, come on.
Like, how do you just choose prison? Like, what was the sentence?
4 months.
Oh yeah, they would easily take 4 months compared to the exposure of what actually happened in the process of that, because they would probably get at least 3 to 5 years.
If Jack Smith was able to finish his findings and then, actually start doing more indictments or prosecuting, right? He probably would have. These two would not have been saved from that.
Jack Smith was
You know
doing
what I
great
mean?
work.
He was. No, he was. And then there's also the pardons for like Alexander Derzwan, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn. I can never say this guy's name, but Papadopoulos or
Papadopoulos.
I'm not a serious person. Papadopoulos. Where the fuck this guy's name is, bro?
There's only one reason I know how to say that name, and that's because there was some TV show in the 80s where the family name was Papadopoulos. And I don't even remember what show it was.
Maybe he was related to him. And also
like
Roger Stone. Roger Stone's guilty plea or guilty verdict was one of interest. Roger Stone has been a key Trump advisor since like 1998, I want to say 1995, right? He's just been obsessed with Trump's cock since then. I don't know why. Anyways, he was charged and found guilty of obstruction of a congressional investigation, 5 counts of false statements to Congress, and then witness tampering, and was then pardoned, right? And all of those have real power or weight in determining Mueller's final, report, because all of that could have easily connected more of the Russia investigation into Donald Trump's.
I can't help myself sometimes.
So that one's particularly bad. Yeah, they were business partners, but mainly Paul Manafort came later. Trump and Roger Stone go back very, very far.
All the way back to
a
the
long
Brooks
time.
brothers.
He wanted Trump to run back in the 90s, like mid 90s, for president.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well for him. Steve Bannon, this dude.
Fucking Steve. I don't know why everyone says he's so intelligent, bro. He's also someone who's incapable of like not telling you what they're gonna do next, right? Like he's out here just like, oh yeah, we're gonna surround the polls, and it's like we know, we know this time, I guess. Like that famous audio recording where he's just like, Trump's just gonna fucking say it's gonna look dicey, it's gonna look bad, and we're just gonna say, that it's fake. We want. That's exactly like the audio recordings.
And then when we say what they say, we have TDS. It's freaking ridiculous.
Again, I take that as a compliment. I'm fine with having TDS. I don't give a fuck. The dude sucks. Like you should have TDS. Like it's almost the same feeling. This is gonna be bad. It's almost like the same feeling if you had like a daughter, and like she came home with like just the most annoying drug lord, fucking like the waste of space, and you're just sitting there like, I have this guy derangement syndrome. Like, you should have TDS.
I don't like this
Who
guy.
the hell is this guy?
You're being too judgmental. No, he seems like a piece of shit. I want him out of my house.
He seems like he slings Xanax bars for all of his money. No, stop. Go find someone else. Anyways, module 6 is also really big. So I think there's enough in here for you to actually use this evidentially and like overcome what Rob wants to say, okay? Because in the evidence spine, I did kind of lay it out that Obviously, the indictments are not a trial, but the conclusive statements, as well as what was given and the evidence given, seems to point to that Jack Smith thought he was going to convict Donald Trump, and his after the trial was ended because of DOJ sitting president policy. He has conclusively said, still to this day, that he definitely could have. And the sequence there for this one is like, yeah, it's so annoying, bro. Is that if a president uses false claims and official pressure to stay in power after losing an election, right? What higher form of political corruption are you waiting for? Is kind of the question I came to. It kind of forces, I think, Rob to probably try and tell you if he takes the bait, hopefully at the end there, because the truth is like I could have kept it without like give me some evidence question, but I feel like Rob's gonna take the bait. He's gonna try and tell you something stupid. What do you mean? What about the fucking Biden's son buying cocaine or something, and then just hit the sequence? Be like, that's great, Rob. I don't care.
Just let it run.
Is trying to stay in power after losing an election, is that corruption relevant? And just if he continues to rob it up, dude. Is there a difference between filing a lawsuit, creating fake elector certificates?
Toby says I'm going to get stonewalled on that. By all means, Stonewall, keep asking the question. I'll ask it on repeat. I'll play a recorder and just let the question run.
Yeah, when I debated Rob, Toby, the man is incapable of repeating back your position. He literally goes, I heard a word I like, and then just like fucking fucks it up in some way, and then goes like, so what you're saying is, and then does like a completely different position. He'll just like change a word or manipulate it some way. And I in my debate with him, I had to literally be like, yo, stop that, you fuck. Like, I need you to fucking pay attention before you open your mouth. Like, Jesus, man.
I need you to lock in for a minute.
Yeah, it was like I was fighting. It was like he was arguing with someone who was not me, like it's just a shadow in the corner.
Sounds like I'm gonna have a great time.
The business one is also pretty important.
One is that. Oh, first one. Yeah. I'm probably starting here.
Wow, Molotov.
I answer Molly's questions, and Molly is completely unsatisfied because what my answer to the question is filters through some broken thing that's bouncing between the two brain cells that never meet each other and then come out with a horribly wrong conclusion. We might end up with cold fusion by this.
I'd like to defend you, but I don't know. I don't know if I can here. This is up to you, buddy. The floor is yours.
So Trump's administration was corruption prone because presidential power remained financially entangled with private business that government officials and favor seekers could patronize, and that is like some clear evidence that can be brought up. And you have the base stuff here, but there's so much pay for play going on here. It's insane. Yeah, I've never strawman your position once. I will never need to fight a straw man because you literally have less weight than the straw man. I will take that all day. Getting one guy in the chat. What is this?
Well, thank you for the kind words, Monto. I do try. Leithy's trying to. He's just not as good as me. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, dare say a bigger asshole?
I'm kidding. If you watch my conversations with Jumbo, Leithy, you'd realize that that day I probably should have turned off my stream and just like punched the fucking wall.
Oh, I missed it. I would like to see that. I actually had a stream where a dude got so pissed off over a question that he literally reeled back in his chair and punched his camera.
What?
Yeah, it was Tuna Chip, and he was talking to Prime Kai, and he was like, Prime was asking him something about Nazi Germany, and the way he was pressing the question frustrated Tuna so hard, he decked his camera live on panel on stream. It was great.
Dude, Did you tell him to simmer? You're boiling. I need you to simmer. Wait, so Rob Nor. You know what I can do right now, man? Just for fun.
Uh-oh.
You want to see some cool tricks?
Sure.
Let me pull it up. So I have this like evaluation framework thing I built a chat like a chat GPT for, so I can put in transcripts plus the video, and then through cycles it'll freaking analyze the entirety of the video in all the transcript.
Seriously?
And then just like what it does is it analyzes mainly from a critique of my view, because I use it to analyze my stream behavior so I can fix it, right?
Fix what? You're doing fine.
I have a 55-inch TV right here on top.
I'm assuming there's something up there that you keep looking at. I'm just like, I'm not going to ask questions.
Yeah, it's a TV.
Oh,
I don't
hi,
have
circus screen.
monitors on my side. So I need to find some fucking. There's a Pisco one from 7 months ago, I guess. Try that one.
Nice. Dude, Pisco was on, I think it was yesterday, with Admiral Gibbs and who was the other dude? Oh, it was Stream Rift. Stream Rift and Admiral Gibbs versus Pisco, and I don't know who the other
Who is
guy
Stream
was.
Rift?
Stream Rift is an odd individual, but they were both arguing for Trump, and they ended up in this exact same discussion about corruption in the White House, and they just were not having any bit of that. Oh, it was Dev, right? Yeah.
Yo.
It was Pisco and Dev against Gibbs and Stream Rift, and you couldn't pay me enough to take that kind of abuse. So I can understand why they left before the Q&A came up for that whole thing. Stream Rift is delusional. I tried to have a chat with him afterwards because he was claiming like $11 trillion in Democrat corruption through the House and Senate. And I really wanted to hear him flesh out that
11
argument.
trillion?
He was saying that all the things that Democrats have done over the years has added up to $11 trillion in corruption. And I really wanted to see his rationalization of this claim.
I feel like people don't realize how big numbers are sometimes.
Trillion, 11 trillion, bro. Like, let's go. I want to hear this.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Streamer has a God-given talent of pissing Pisco off. It's quite wonderful. Yeah. Pisco was losing his shit, but Gibbs wasn't helping either, because like the Gish Gallop that was going on, and then every time Gibbs Gish Gallops, it's the beautiful thing. He goes, "Hey, I've been keeping quiet this whole time. Let me just finish."
He does what Tyler does. I haven't even been able to get a word out. Meanwhile, I'm literally timing. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever you want to say. Not a single word there, Tyler. So we had one. Let's get another one. I think 3 debates from him probably be good, right?
Yeah, that should cover it.
Progressive debater steamrolled on corruption. Oh, that's Adam. That's Adam Kahn, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I think.
I need to see what's on your screen.
Yeah, Adam Kahn.
Oh,
He debated.
I've seen him on Jubilee, I believe. Meanwhile, in Cuba,
Is that where he was on Jubilee?
I believe he was on Jubilee at one point.
He debated Andrew Wilson on fascism. It was actually the one we watched. Remember?
I saw that too. Yeah,
I thought it was probably one of the better. Yeah.
Dude, I saw a black conservative debate
Also,
Andrew Wilson on reparations, and I wanted to eat my own spleen. I've never been so infuriated in my life.
Black conservative. Oh my.
It was pure torture.
Was he against them or for reparations?
He was for reparations, but coming from a conservative angle. So like all the systemic racism that exists, he does not believe in, but he's arguing for reparations.
Should we argue with Rob Nor right now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Which guy? Adam Kahn? Molotov, you're talking about the fascism debate with Adam? I actually think Andrew did very well in the debate. And I mean, you do know the Confederates got reparations, right?
The Confederates got reparations.
In fact, the last reparations, I think, was... That's some too. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Native Americans got reparations.
Reparations
Jewish people got
usually
reparations.
They're usually not a good answer. Yeah. They usually don't actually fix systemic issues, right? Which is usually what needs to be done.
All the same, I would say there should be some admission of wrongdoing and some form of repair. I don't think it needs to be a monetary thing, but it can be in other tangible ways. So, like, when you acknowledge that you did something foul, you should do something to repair it. But usually when people hear reparations, they're thinking, oh, cash sums of X, Y, and that doesn't always need to be the case. When did they start being better? I don't get that part.
Wait, what do you mean being better?
So like I was watching a video before about basically it was on Asmongold's DEI takes and stuff like that. And when it gets into like what happened post slavery in the period after that, like basically keeping black people in certain areas, not letting them get property, like bad representation. So like if you got an entire people that can't get property, can't better themselves, if they do happen to get a city, you burn that shit down. Like in what way are those people going to be able to pull themselves out of poverty?
Frankzilla, when you say ending slavery, do you know what year the last chattel slave was in the United States? What was the final year that chattel slavery finally ended in the U.S.?
Hey, we get to Juneteenth.
That's not actually true. It wasn't Juneteenth. It was far later than we all want to admit.
Crazy.
No, 1942. 1942. In Arizona. It was the last chattel slave. Federal government took it upon themselves because the Allies thought that the US needed to get its shit together before we went around calling the Nazis evil. So, ending slavery. When did slavery actually really get abolished in the US? And then when you say abolishing laws for racism, that's pretty broad. What do you mean by that? Like civil rights? Or do you mean like abolishing institutional practices that essentially do the same thing?
I mean, currently people
why do I care?
In slavery and prison.
Why do I fucking care? Why do I fucking care about Africa, bro? Come on.
I'm not even talking about slavery. I'm talking about redlining, systemic racism, and issues that black people have faced post-slavery is what I'm saying was paid reparations for.
Oh, we forgot about the Qatari Air Force One gift. Actually.
That's not even in there?
I didn't put that in there.
That's got to be. Oh, wow. I'm shocked. I would bring that up anyway.
What systemic racism exists today? There's systemic racism against white people that exist. Technically, I mean, there's no way that you can honestly think that systemic racism can't exist in the modern sense, right? Like, don't you guys complain about affirmative action? That is the definition of what systemic racism technically is.
Oh, I mean, have you ever heard of the Veil of Darkness study, Sorta?
A vast history. How is a literal definition of what systemic racism is in an institutional framework a red herring? What are you talking about?
So
it is definitionally systemic racism. It is systemically racist.
We act
There's
like it has to
obviously
say on
different forms.
paper that no black people or whatever the case may be. Like, that's not how it works. If you look at the Veil of Darkness study, when you see that black people get pulled over and arrested at a higher rate than white people do until it becomes dark, then you know that there's something going on with the system. When you see that black people get disparaging sentences and are exonerated more than any other people, you know there's something wrong with the system. When you see that job applications for the exact same individual, when it's a black sounding name, they don't get the job, and when it's any other kind of name, they're more than likely going to get the job ahead of the black sounding name with the exact same resume. These are systemic problems.
Okay, so something else, Frankzilla. Whatever Lethe just said is all true, but there's something I think we need to foundationally like make clear first. Okay, when was the Civil Rights Act passed? The first one, or at least the most important one, like 1964, right? 1964, correct?
That is correct. I figure you're asking chat, not me.
Okay, I'm just going to assume that Frankzilla is going to agree. Yeah, I am asking chat. Okay, so all of the institutions, like when we say systemic, we mean a system. So a system is going to be like the housing system, the education system, the judiciary system, the healthcare system. All of those things are systems. Okay. Now, did all of those institutions, were they completely remade when the Civil Rights Act was passed? Yes or no? Okay, so these institutions were all made and created and crafted before the Civil Rights Act was passed. So that means what? That means when these institutions and systems were designed, yeah, but they weren't just destroyed and remade. They have these tendrils, these connections to, unfortunately, even they have not changed.
I'm going to drop this in your chat.
You don't need laws to actually, you don't need laws to promote racism directly. That's not what systemic racism argues. Systemic racism does not argue individual racists are rampant and that they do racist things. Systemic racism is a critique from a very gifted first black Harvard professor. His name's Dr. Bell. And essentially what his life's work is to show how systems can produce inadvertent and like accidental, unknowingly racist outcomes because of the way they were designed. So I can prove this to you very quickly, okay? So let's take the education system. The education system in the US kind of started to get funding, or at least the way in which we funded them was probably done, I want to say like the 1900s, like 1940, 1950, around there, 1940s, 1930s. And I want to make this clear. We deliberately chose the ways in which we fund our schools using property value. So most localities in the country are funded, schools are funded by localities using property tax. And if you haven't identified the problem here, the reason that black schools are underfunded, there's no federal government that like gives tons of money to schools, by the way. Okay, that's not a thing. Most of the money that comes from the federal government is into student loans. It's like absurd. All of the money, the billions of dollars, is student loans for college. Now, there's small amounts of grants now trying to make up for the fact that these schools have no funding, but that's by design. So the system for the education system was designed that way before the Civil Rights Act for property value to fund the schools. Now, the outcome we get is a extreme disparity between poor areas and white areas for schools, which happen to disproportionately, and I guess conveniently for you, be black and white places. White places that are poor obviously still suffer from this too, but for a generation, you have to remember that black people were not allowed to participate inside of the economic expansion that came from real estate, from owning a home, unless they were like a soldier. Soldiers were allowed, in some ways to do that.
Some soldiers
One way
were
a lot of black
withheld the
people were able
GI
to
Bill.
capture.
And there are certain townships that didn't allow for black.
Okay, well, that's systemic racism. That's
yes.
I just described it to you. But that's systemic racism. So when you are born in a poor area, which is predominantly black, the schools are not funded the same way areas that are predominantly white would be because of their property value. So it's not that the system, it's not like we can say, wow, that means, lower property value is racist. That's not what's happening. I just addressed that. That's got to be a joke, right? It's not that the laws themselves are racist. It's the outcome that's produced is essentially a racist one because it continues to fucking proliferate the fucking disparity between black and white people when it comes to schooling. We could fix this by just changing the way we fund schools.
So there's this place
I
called
don't care
Levittown
about
in New
going
York.
back through history. I care about fixing systemic problems, and systemic issues require systemic solutions. That means if we want to help black people, get more wealth and do better in school, we need to change the way we fund schools. We can't just expect property value to do that when they were just excluded from that.
So in the 1940s
So you do,
and 50s,
you understand systemic racism then?
yeah,
That's what systemic racism looks like, though.
They don't think it's that big of a deal. But in the 1940s and 50s, this place called Levittown in New York was built exclusively for veterans using federal backing, and they would not allow black people to use their GI Bill to move into there. And out of 67,000 mortgages that were put up
The
in this area,
HOAs would stop it, yeah, as well as the banks would still
fewer than
reject
100
the
went to non-white veterans, and none went to black people. And that was for veterans, so like people that served their country.
That's what systemic racism is.
Tell Molly Toff that the law is still there. They still have the redlining law on the books in Levittown.
Certain states do, but it's not enforceable. Although it's not really, the problem is not that the redlining law exists or not exists. It's the institution has been built and conditioned to operate this way. So what needs to happen is like an active acknowledgement of these things that exist. Then we can work on solutions that aren't reparations. That's stupid as fuck. Giving someone $4,000 is not going to fix their systemic problem, right? It's not going to somehow make their kid have better access to education. It's systemic racism is literally, that's what it means. Legacy structures. All of them were made before the Civil Rights Act, and they're conditioned, institutionalized access and use. That's what systemic racism means. Reparations are stupid, but reparations, I usually hear from disgruntled or black people who are upset or virtue signaling individuals, or maybe in my opinion, people who have like a good intention but might be misguided economically, right? But I don't really care. It's not a good idea. We have better ways to fix this, though, right? But it does mean you need to acknowledge that systemic racism is a real thing.
That's a first
and it
start.
Actually, like I said, it exists against white people right now. In a way, part of the thing about the conservative argument for affirmative action is that it technically is true. It's just not really that impactful or significant. It's nowhere near as dramatic as what, some dude on PragerU is going to tell you, because one fucking white kid lost out to like the one uniquely gifted black kid in a zip code. Like this is,
I mean, even if we want to act like
everything going for you,
if we want to act like affirmative action is racist, then who was the predominant benefactor of affirmative action? Anyone in the chat know who was the primary benefactor of affirmative action?
Thomas.
And I'll tell you right now, it wasn't
Clarence
black people. It wasn't anybody black, I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
It was actually white women.
Well, Clarence Tom, early affirmative action.
Every part of affirmative action.
I doubt Lethe argued that.
Yeah, I never said that. For some reason, those two brain cells in his brain like cracked up against the thought that was going through and warped it into something that never happened. Oh, now it's my burden to prove a negative.
Like a protected. Protected. I mean, it's not a negative technically. If it is for that reason, then you just gotta hope that there's some material link for it, right? Because this is why it's so hard to actually take anyone to court for, protected identities, because you literally have to be a fucking idiot to get like any legal trouble. You have to be like, oh yeah, I wrote down stupid black woman not giving job. Like, you have to be that dumb.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to
still
prove.
do it somehow. They send text or something like that, and then they get fucked.
More than likely, you're never going to be able to prove you didn't get a job.
Well, it depends.
Molotov.
It depends. It's hard in an individual sense, Molotov. But if you actually take an aggregate of the total applications and you find out through statistical analysis that this person just seems to deny every black person, and there's thousands of applicants, that might not be really that hard anymore. Right? Like, if you can definitely do that, if you know that someone is just doing that over and over again, or at least it's pretty hard to know that, but racists are pretty dumb.
Yeah, see, that would be pretty stupid to speak in absolutes.
Make an anonymous report
in that way. Just because a black person didn't get a job is because they're black. There are instances, and there are very many instances, and there is a study on this, where black sounding names were turned down over white sounding names with the exact same application. This was a study done to show the disparity going on. So to act like this didn't happen,
Bogos, you're right. That is individual. That is an individual, by the way. For that specific case, that would be individual. But continue, Lethe.
Yeah. So I can pop this into the chat. Of course, Molly can't read, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Job applicants with white names needed to send about.
You guys have some nice sexual tension going on.
Job applicants with white names needed to send about 10 resumes to get one call back. Those with African American sounding names needed to send around 15 resumes to get one call back. And there's an entire study in regards. There's multiple studies that have been done in regards to this situation.
The MPBR study is a really good one, by the way. That's systemic racism right there for sure. That's conditioned institutional buffering happening. I don't. It's not really something I care about. Everyone is capable of racism, Frankzilla. I do want you to know that the argument of trying to deflect to people being racist in general, or how likely the average person is going to be racist, is not really an argument for whether or not you should stop being racist. Or if you want to address systemic racism, right? It's just not relevant.
Just because it's the case doesn't prove anything. What the hell?
Racism. It does prove systemic racism, Molotov. There's literally no reason why black names should be getting calls back. It's just institutionalized conditioning in the job market, though.
I don't know what's so painful for people to admit that
America started off... that would literally be... Oh my God. Well, Frank, they're actually going to be, unfortunately, disproportionately less capable in the, whatever the institution defines as capable, right? GPA, all those things I mentioned earlier about like access to schooling. You see how that suddenly comes back up? When you say it was not as good, how are you going to measure this? Whether they went to a good school, whether they got a good GPA, and now we're back to, well, how do those get funded? These things are connected, right? The truth is, you have no idea really how bad or good this black kid probably was. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest with you right now. I feel like I didn't finish my degree, and I remember very talented kids on my track team who were like, I would say, extremely conventionally smart. But the more I got older and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that they were actually, a lot of them were fucking retarded, man. It's like the least amount of respect possible. Like, it's like, okay, I'm glad you got a 36 on your ACT, and somehow, having a conversation with you is like listening to an AP Bio course. Are you gonna have flashcards when we talk? It's just, that doesn't mean anything. Okay.
I didn't notice there were people talking in my
Similar
YouTube
resumes.
chat.
You can't have the same resume. Zephyr, you can't have the same resume. It would be a similar resume. Which, even similarly disposition resumes would look different in an employer's eyes because of, like, let's say education on it. Same qualifications, yeah. So like, even schools though condition. So if like you live in a predominantly like black neighborhood and you go to community college there, right? The school's name would be technically seen as something different, and that's where similarly is fine. I just I wouldn't say same resume because it can be attacked by someone. But the NPBR study does try and control for a lot of these variables.
Which is why I thought it was a pretty good study. But it's been repeated, and the fact that you can repeat the study and get very similar outcomes shows that the methodology is correct.
Yeah, as best as you can. I'm not really interested in what the black community does for itself in a way. I'm only capable of doing what I can for my own conscience, right? And I see the disparities. Whether or not black people take advantage of it in the way I want them to, I don't really care. It's not my problem. I can do what I can on my end, which is recognize it. And the problem here of why, if you get stuck on the idea that, black people themselves need to be doing some form of like, standard that you want, is going to come down to like an endogenous exogenous conversation. So Franck, do you know what endogenous means versus exogenous? Or like intrinsic versus extrinsic? Okay, so intrinsic or endogenous means born out of, like from within, as in internal. Exogenous or extrinsic means something that is born from without, externalized. So when we talk about a standard for like a certain race, okay, you are going to come down to the unfortunate reality that you have two options. One of them is it's an external pressure, which would be something systemic. Crime, criminalization of black people after Reconstruction, major big part into the judiciary system against them, like Lethe mentioned. Schooling being a real big problem with access, getting into good jobs, expanding wealth. All of these things externally put pressure on the black community to behave a certain way and pathologize them, okay? The other option is genetically and inherently, black people are just predisposed to like fucking, drill music and like shooting people. Like, and I don't know if the second one, the latter, okay, is like a real good argument, man.
I don't know. I think the primary purchaser of drill music and pretty much all black culture isn't really black people, because we don't have money to buy it at the same rate that white people do. If you go to a rap show or like anything huge, you're going to see more white faces in the crowd than black faces.
So, Franck, you like blues? Right? Black people culture is pretty big. Okay. If you want, like, I had this debate with Marte, where
oh no,
where Marte wanted to, he had the same argument. He wanted black culture to be destroyed. That was the prompt. Black culture should be destroyed. And I was like, okay. And the truth is like the first thing I brought up to Marte, I think was a really strong and lesser known one. Okay. he asked me, well, tell me some good things about black culture. And I chose to start with something I thought would maybe reach him, which is the concept of a worship site. Okay. In black communities, and this is why for Christians, I feel like this should resonate with them, because in black communities, there was no money to build rec centers and community centers and fields and, places where they could congregate. So in black America, churches became literal worship sites. I mean, like entire, the heart of entire community. And to a Christian, I feel like that would be a really important, something that Christians maybe in their own communities want to get back to. So when we talk about black culture, that still exists to this day. I'm not saying all of it's great. I'm not even religious, but it's easy to pathologize things that you can find moral shortcoming in and be like, that's bad. Oh my God, stupid rap videos talking about shooting people. But it really has no explanatory capability, and it has no solution capability. It's just ultimately doing this. That looks bad to me, and then you just never stop talking about it. Because the truth is like, to fix the problem or at least understand it, you need to go deeper than that every time.
Did we talk about your debate with Marte? I barely watched it, but that was a rough debate for the bits that I saw.
Yours.
Yeah, so blacks and Arabs, it's like,
wait,
but like we're ignoring like the violence that happens in like regular, like what you would say white people music is. Hey, thanks, Clyde, appreciate it. Like, I'm sure we've heard of the genre of outlaw country where they're just basically talking about shooting cops most of the time.
Right on the couch.
And then you look at the depictions of the Wild West, which was literally just people shooting each other.
That's how Hamilton died.
Right. Let's not even
meet
talk
me
about
outside, motherfucker. Yeah.
We had a president that was out there shooting
these
people.
Transcripts. I'm gonna drop in these transcripts for us and see what it shits out. See what we get from Rob Norrie.
Yeah, because I gotta end stream pretty soon, so I would like to get to one of those.
I thought you were laughing at me. My girlfriend laughed. I thought she was watching my stream. She's not. She's a dude, objection.
Islam radicalism had some part to play in it, but other countries,
I didn't give it any instruction.
What does it do?
Islam destroyed it. Wait, what did Islam destroy? Islam did not destroy. The first golden age and the second golden age happened after Muhammad's conquering, with the Abbasid Caliphate and can't remember the name of the second one.
Yeah,
to be fair, it's partly because Muhammad did literally conquer like the entirety of the Middle East and into Turkey, and I mean after that point they just were under like the same rule, made it a little bit easier, and they became really tolerant after he died. He did have to fucking conquer everything first, though. I think so. I don't know how exactly peaceful you want to call it. But
Wait, black people always try to reduce how great white people are and how they created the best civilization in history. Literally, white people try to erase black history and get pissed off when you try to put it in books. What ability do black people have to diminish white history? And by the way, White History Month is every day of the week.
This is location specific. When you say black people, you're talking about U.S. black people, I think, right? And U.S. white people, because
I'm assuming
racism, every country has its own specific identity and racist issue. But once you put those modifiers on your comment there. Doesn't it kind of make sense? I mean, the rights for black people used to have to drink out of a different drinking fountain, man. The same year my dad was born. That's not that long ago. I mean, those people are still alive. They literally walked to school with people holding up signs telling them to go home, N-word. A few black people are probably not going to grow up liking white people. Yanks are dumb.
And those people are still alive today. I think Ruby Bridges is still alive right now.
Wait, U.S. English? Or you mean the English? Technically, the French abolished it first with England quickly following, and then the French reinstated it because Napoleon. I know, but you said U.S. English. Or did you mean to say us English?
We destroyed our empire.
Was already being destroyed.
You kind of did it to yourself.
Your empire was already being destroyed, man. This isn't me. The Britain was already, I mean, the kingdom, it was turning to the United Kingdom at that point.
It was on the decline.
Already destroying their own kingdom.
And it was pretty much cooked after World War II, or like during World War II, it was pretty much cooked.
Before that, I mean, remember, the colonies were like the worst places of land to come to the New World. There's a reason that like the English showed up late and had to grab the East Coast. It's because the Spanish took over everything already, and they thought this place was fucking lame. There's no gold. There's no gold. There's no indigenous people like the Incas and Aztecs to turn into slaves. You had to import them. Well, Franck. Kind of. The UK controlled pretty large sections of like the Dominican area. Like the Europe cared more about like, or sorry, the UK in particular cared more about their colonies on Barbados and shit like that because of the profitability of it, right? But pretty hard to control those islands as time went on because it was like 95% slave and then 5% people who were like probably going to be murdered in the night at any moment. So kind of hard to control those areas once the U.S. became a real country. They can't like exert the same power. Funny enough, a lot of them, you know, like a lot of those islands, the charter islands, became U.S. ones.
I'm not touching that.
God damn it! I knew I should have fucking given it a prompt. Create a prompt to scan, identify, and cute.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The British paid reparations to the white slave owners that they were backing during the Civil War. Problems I see in black culture? That's a goofy question. Black culture is American culture. So you're asking me to explain problems that I see in American culture, which is pretty easy to understand. Liberia was crazy because they just basically decided to act like how America acted toward them and just imported it over to Liberia. Which is just straight up American culture imported.
I had to make a prompt for this way we'll know exactly what Rob's going to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yes, black and white people are literally just people. There have been labels placed upon those people, and one group of people decided to treat the other group of people like shit. Yes. Skin color does not make people different. Oh, Zephyr got there too. Melanin, besides melanin, there is no difference. Crazy how that works out. Okay, please, Circa, tell me how what I said was bad faith. I'm dying to know.
What Molotov? I think the only thing I think, in addition, he wasn't bad faith, but it did start out for economic reasons, because what I mentioned earlier, there was the Native Americans were too sparsely populated to enslave like the Spanish did the fucking Spanish, and the Inca and Aztecs had gold, right? So they didn't need to import slaves. But in the US, for economic reasons, to even be profitable, they imported slaves. Then over time, because the act of committing chattel slavery or doing it is impossible to do unless you separate that literal fucking person mentally. So over time, generations reinforced and conditioned this idea that they were different and not even human. Because you cannot look at a black slave like a young man will look at the potential girl down the street he may marry. It's just not possible. You can't do it. So over time, Lethe's argument is now correct. It's not bad faith. They looked at him like they weren't human.
And that was literally what Southerners were saying in regards to fighting alongside black people during the Civil War and trying to give them freedom. It's like, these people aren't equal to us. Literally, the racism involved there is feeling that one group of people are inferior and one group of people are superior.
I mean, Molotov,
See, that's
I think
bad
we both
faith.
know.
That's clearly bad faith.
When someone says, like, you're stealing black culture or something, I probably wouldn't take that person too seriously either. But I'm not going to say it. I don't think Lethe would say that either.
This goofball is afraid of appropriation. That's so dumb.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of really. In my debate with Marte, I literally told him, I was like, man, I get cathartic when I get to tell black people that just because you're black doesn't mean you understand anything about systemic racism or what black people have to go through. It means you have some personal insight. It doesn't mean shit, right? Like, is their culture yours as well? I mean, it depends on the context. Are you genuine when you say that? Or are you looking to get your ass beat? And those are two different things.
I assume this individual is bad faith and just wants to do racist things and act like it's perfectly fine.
Like, I guarantee you, Malta, you've probably had like a black friend where you kind of adopted and code switched culture a little bit with them if you were friends with them, and vice versa, right? I don't think that question is that important, because it's kind of like what you would do with a normal friend.
Like, are we saying?
I mean, every friendship and person you talk to has context. You can't just like walk up to random people and like, fucking smack them like they're your bud. Like, or are you just gonna walk up to random black people and be like, "Oh man, what's up, cuz?"
If you're British, we're British kings. How many black people have you met going around saying that? Your chat is wild, though. But we're acting like white people can't, be rappers because Eminem doesn't exist. Are we acting like, food that black people originated can't be made by white people? Because that's goofy. Like, what
black culture and white culture are the same, because black culture was creolized. It was destroyed by white plantation owners whenever they brought black people over. They did not want black people to have their names. They didn't want them to have their religion. That's why black people in the US are Christian. It's not like they really had the areas we took slaves from were not really Christian, okay? But the third thing, that doesn't mean that subcultures can't independently evolve. But fundamentally, black culture has been destroyed and recreolized many times depending on the period of the U.S. And
express the distinction.
I mean,
tell me something that you consider to be black culture.
What is the foundational culture then, Malta?
Yeah, I want to know what the culture is.
Are they Zimbabwean when they came over, or are they like newly made me character?
What do the BET Awards? BET's owned
Because
by
they
white people.
became a me character when they came over. Oh, that's the Marte. Marte said that too, bro. He literally was like, BET is fucking owned by a white woman, and I was like, shut the fuck up. I don't care.
Doesn't matter, but like seriously, what if there's anybody barring white people from the BET Awards, it's literally white people at this point.
Stop supporting policy hurting everyone because it hurts black community more. Military conscription is not something that happens in the US right now. I don't know why that in there. Drugs being legalized would, I guess, benefit the black community more. That's a different argument though. You should probably vote on that not because it helps black people more or less, but because you vote on it, principally. End income and property tax would fucking destroy everyone, so I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, Molly's running now. That's adorable. I'm so shocked Molly's running. Surprise Pikachu again. Now that you finally have to explain yourself, you're, oh, you just said. But yeah, plenty of white people won BET Awards. I think Macklemore won a BET Award. Sam Smith has won BET Awards.
Macklemore's black, though.
Fuck.
No difference with you guys when I added some context. What is the context?
I'm dying to know what the context was.
What was the context? Also, I have the first part. We have the source map of Rob Norrie.
Okay, what we got?
I'll just put your face on here. No one cares about mine. In the corner.
Just cover the whole thing.
All right. I guess it's fucking like dying right now. So like, I'm riding as fast as I can. I can't zoom in. This is for the classic debate. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. Oh my God. I don't know where I am. Classic debate. Rob Norrie gets demolished on Biden corruption. 4 hours and 11 minutes. Holy fuck. Rob's side argues that there was a serious double standard. Trump world was investigated aggressively. Shocking. While Biden world corruption leads were ignored. No, they weren't. Right off the bat, Lethe, if you want to know the amount of money that was spent in the House to investigate Hunter Biden's cock over like a decade.
Wait, I got to say one thing first. It's
the most expensive cock on the planet.
True. So, Molly, the next time a black person says you're stealing our culture, I can say no, a black man said his mind too. I would like you to do this. I want you to actually implement this into your life and tell me how it turns out for you. All right, go. Now back to how valuable and how expensive it was.
It was tens of millions of cock dollars. Okay, that's what it was. It's expensive ass cock, bro. Better be bit of gold. No wonder Trump wants it so much.
Hilarious.
Major reoccurring names. Victor Shokin, that's a name. And recorded. Michael Zhuklevsky. Russian names. Who would have thought? Rob's apparent thesis. The Biden corruption allegations may not be proven beyond all doubt. Well, that's quite the understatement. but they were serious enough to warrant a much more aggressive investigation. This is the exact line you should use for the Jack Smith case. You know, technically, the Jack Smith indictments cannot be proven beyond all doubt, but he did go forward with the indictments and was about to put him through court farther than Biden did. So, don't you think that warranted more aggressive continuation of the case? Larger claim is that institutions applied radically different standards. Speculative or politically tainted material against Trump, or like just politically tainted material by Trump was pursued intensely, while Biden-related cock leads were dismissed. who was okay. We have the second one. Progressive debater steamrolled on corruption. This one, I guess, is him fucking up Adam or something. Rob argues that corruption and prosecution standards are selectively applied. Okay, seems like he wants to try and demarcate some form of favoring by the DOJ against Trump, not against Biden. That probably seems like something you're going to hear a lot, man.
Okay.
So it's more of less like a nuh-uh, and then when you're talking, it's like a not a big, and then like comes back to him, he's like nuh-uh, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's basically what it's gonna
like
be.
Super narrow on your end, broad, you know, like fucking includes the entire universe in his argument, and then as soon as it gets to you, it's like you only get a pebble of sand. Liberal left speechless when I debunked Trump lawfare conspiracies. Okay. So, Trump has openly directed or pressured prosecution of political enemies. That is a fact, by the way. If you use the executive orders, the that targeted law firms that simply not even were like against him in cases, but just coordinated, like literally just basic processing stuff within the DOJ or in government, he's gone after them. So there's a whole executive order you can use there. Expands into a broader two-tier argument. This is the same thing before. So DOJ was just like corrupt or something. Anti-Trump side uses an inconsistent standard. Yeah. Okay. So he's going to try and standardize it. He's going to be like, well, all the Trump stuff is just super bad because they don't like Trump. And then when it comes to Biden, he's going to be like, well, Biden is like the special boy. He's Sir Biden. So the DOJ would not touch him. But I think Rob is missing the cock. I think that's.
Well, they went directly after his son, and I'm sure he'll like talk about the Biden pardons and everything in regards to that. But
you should have Marjorie Taylor Greene's email handy for see if you can ask her for it.
That's pretty much him saying that everything against Trump was lawfare, and then everything with Biden was preferential treatment, which I expect.
No, it goes further. Obviously, I have it set to do cycles right now. So we have the taxonomy of his argument, right? So Biden-Hunter corruption allegations. Rob argues there were enough Biden-related leads to justify serious investigations. Okay. Just going to take these one at a time for a second. We'll do the Ukraine Shokin Burisma theory. Now, this one, I think, if I remember correctly, is totally... So, Joe Biden is falsely alleged to have, as Vice President of the United States, withheld a loan guarantee and taken a bribe to pressure Ukraine into firing Prosecutor General Viktor Shokin to prevent a corruption investigation into the gas company where his son was on the board. Now, if we go down a little bit further, I guess we'll see exactly what came out of this. Joe Biden followed the State Department intentions when he withheld the loan guarantee to pressure Ukraine into removing the prosecutor who was seen as corrupt and failing to clean up Ukrainian corruption. Now, I feel like Viktor Shokin is part of Russian Moscow influence, right?
Right. Well, the whole thing with Viktor Shokin, he was actually on the payroll of Burisma. Like, I'm pretty sure there's some links showing this, but he was literally pushing back the investigation into Burisma which is where Hunter Biden was working at the time. So if the issue is Victor Shokin, he was literally making sure Biden's son wouldn't have gotten investigated, and Biden pushed for the investigation into Burisma and firing Shokin. So that's a goofy link. But I'm sure Rob may say it.
The floor right now. I'm about to fucking go Super Saiyan on them, bro. Fuck, shut up. Jesus. Do we have? I'm sure we have some form of a PDF into this, right? Like from the government directly. Why don't we just do this?
I'm very sure there probably is.
DOJ PDF.
Because like it's not like Biden was president at the time. Biden was acting on Obama's orders and the global community's orders to fire Shokin and withhold the funding.
291 pages, bro.
Good God.
Dude, this whole report could have been titled "The Cock is All Right." Okay, like fucking hell, bro. Okay, so this is from the Oversight Committee. I'm not reading this whole thing, guys. So what I'm going to do is do another AI overview. I do think it's important to know what it says, though. So forgive me, but I'm not reading something I already know is technically not true to that degree. Out of your fucking mind, okay? I need to use my research one.
Fucking Katie.
Australian. Please address this entire document so I don't have to read such a long and stupidly boring document in which we ultimately find that Hunter Biden's cock was in fact all right. Let's go. Investigative double standard.
That's what Rob usually claims.
Wow, that's all one thing. Rob argues FBI, DOJ pursued Trump-connected leads aggressively while failing to interview or pressure key Biden-related witnesses. Man, that sounds like a lot of just veebs and fiefs. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of veebs and fiefs. Institutional distrust frame. Rob treats FBI, DOJ behavior in Trump-Russia as evidence that institutional claims of neutrality cannot simply be accepted. How convenient are they right now? What changed? Trump has now ruined the institutional claims of neutrality, or what? This argument is so convenient, bro. I feel like if he does take this route, just ask him like, how, like it's very convenient, you know, that all of a sudden you can't accept it when it comes to this specific instance with Trump. I don't really see any evidence to why this would be true, especially since, you know, things like I'm sure you know Hillary Clinton's case and the fact that it dropped before her election, and all of these things seemingly don't really align with. All of a sudden, Trump is now like super targeted, and Biden wouldn't be. If anything, this is quite literally evidence of institutional neutrality being destroyed. This fucking oversight committee report. It's 291 pages. $10 million into Hunter Biden's dick is why neutrality is no longer
$20
around,
million.
So just fucking 10 or 11 million dollars, bro. I'm not kidding.
That's a lot of money.
This
for
is
one
the
cock.
line. inside of this report. Hey, Frank, I don't want to be debating cock, but he's debating Rob Noor tomorrow. And Hunter Biden's going to be in it. And his PP was on the floor of the house. It's funny. It's a fact, okay? Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene came out with a straight up, science 5th grader fucking art experiment. It was like, look at the cock. And everyone was just like, whoa. Whoa. I'm not kidding, by the way. You think I'm kidding?
This actually happened.
It's literally real. And like everyone was like, yo, what? What does this mean? How do you find, dude? Just Google it, dude. It's hilarious, dude. Marjorie. Can I show this?
Yeah, it's always, what about Hunter Biden when it comes down to corruption? And then like the whole Biden crime family thing, which was never substantiated. When Hunter finally was charged, it was over taxes and a gun charge for him being on drugs and getting a firearm. So he lied on an application for a firearm, and that's what he got clapped for. So for all the corruption they claim, they literally got nothing. Oh, bro, you're playing it.
Oh, here it is. Dude. Where'd she do it, bro? She did.
She busted it out. This is pure insanity.
How did it get deal out of circuit? Wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Dude, Hunter Biden's dick is not TOS. That is literally factually incorrect. It is America's dick. It's the most expensive dick in history. Okay. Dick joke.
Are you serious,
Procedural
Nair?
defect.
I gotta look that up. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, Trump is he actually wants Canada to pay for all of it, I thought. He's trying to strong arm with other stuff. Totally not disruptive at all, by the way. It's not like every single second that people need to continue being on job sites or whatever is costing tons of money to the contractors or anything. Fucking print more, I guess. Trump's strategy. Speaking of that, I wonder how much the do you know how to look up the monthly treasury statement, Leafy? This might be something you're interested in the future.
I do not, please.
So the monthly treasury statement on the fiscaldata.treasury.gov. I'll put it in chat for anyone who wants it, by the way. This is a pretty important thing to know. Although it seems to be not working. What is going on there? Hello? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. I see the link.
And I said, are we alive? There we go. There we go. I'm like, guys, let's pull that up real fast. See where we are on the deficit. Might as well. I like how they changed it, by the way. So Trump's Treasury Department is, you want to know what this used to look like? And I only imagine this is because Trump has, it's just lame as fuck, I think.
Real quick, check this out. So somebody in my chat just mentioned the Gordon Howe Bridge. So there's a bridge monopoly. One family owns a bridge, and it created want to keep their monopoly. So they gave Trump a $1 million donation to his PAC to keep the bridge closed. So like, even if you're saying that Trump wants 50% of whatever, he literally took a bribe to keep the bridge closed. So this is more clear corruption.
There we go. Fucking, dude, you're going to run out of space. Later, Frank. Thanks for hanging around.
Have a good night. Enjoy some beans and toast.
we'll
have a good fry up.
We'll accommodate black culture together. I can educate you.
True.
Thanks, man. So they changed it to look like this. All right. And whose idea was it to do this? Dude, like Windows 95 called. What the fuck are we doing? There's no dollar sign out. I think they do this on purpose to make it just annoying to look at. May had a $300 billion deficit, though. Okay. So we are 1.246, and we have about 5 months to go. So he's probably going to go over again, getting closer to like 2 trillion. He does have a fancy way of black hole economics when it comes to the budget. So what I don't understand though is how much revenue we got. Okay. In let's say 837. That's a lot, especially in January, right? 513, 560. I don't understand these numbers, if I'm being honest with you guys.
You don't understand the numbers.
Also,
I would be lost.
Ether is tariff revenue, if you guys are curious.
How much is that?
So see how they changed it? Like it used to look like this. This is actually much easier, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ether, there it is, right there, 19 billion. Ether is dark purple, or is that no? What are we doing? Dark green. $3 billion in tariff revenue. Wow, killing it, man. $217 billion of tariff revenue on the year. I thought it was hundreds of billions.
That's what it was supposed to be. I'm still waiting on my check.
In the first 2 months, actually. In the first 2 months is what he said.
Well, there was supposed to be 100 deals in 100 days as well. So, I mean, we're just slightly off
And
track.
individual income taxes. Also, Grant, this is why individual income taxes cannot be eliminated. Do you see how big this circle is right here, man? Or part of it's pretty much the semicircle, I guess. But if you eliminated individual income taxes, this country would fucking die. It would literally explode.
And yet they're constantly gutting the IRS. We need to bolster the IRS to go after people that are shielding their income.
So Zephyrus, because I'm a psycho and I studied economics, I also know where you can go to find evidence that that's not happening. So you go to the BLS, you go to the employment, blah, 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 where are you? Employment cost index, as well as, actually, I'm looking for the employment situation. Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, Zephyr is memeing, dude. Zephyr's been very sarcastic this whole time.
But maybe he might want to know where to go actually, so he can be like, "Are you sure about that, motherfucker?" Because all
Circa,
you have to do is
we could just cut spending. Who's doing all the spending, Circa? Who's increasing the deficit?
Could just cut spending. If you cut spending, you're contracting the economy. Spending is good, Molotov, right?
Deficit spending bad.
Right? Spending is not bad. Spending is famously spending is another person's income. So we should cut spending on things that don't really amount to anything fruitful though. But you're gonna have to say more than just cut spending. It's got to be a little bit more complex than that. Now for employment, okay, if we go to the situation summary and we go all the way to blah, 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 this one, as well as by industry, where are we? Class of workers, part-time status. Indexes, no. He keeps fucking with this thing, bro, and it's pissing me off. Like he actually is fucking with this overtime. No, we needed the establishment one. So manufacturing, right? Construction. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really seeing anything happening there. If we were building factories, I feel like we would see some jobs. Unless we're building factories with nothing, no one.
Our jobs are
Manufacturing's
fairly
gone
heated.
down, construction's gone down. AI data centers are literally the only construction jobs right now. And to be fair, that's not going to be that good because that's all fixed capital. It sucks ass. It's not going to do any material social welfare benefit. We have things like mining and logging, which Trump says, drill, baby, drill. That's not happening. So, yeah, here you go. If anyone wants this is where you go for this, okay? The employment news release. Employment situation. Here you go. Boom. Okay, I'll respond to it. Why should the citizens be taken for granted? I have no idea what that means. Now, as it happens when tax is mandatory, citizens are only guaranteed money because the state guarantees that. So remember that as a source of tax revenue for political elite managing states' budget. Political elite is fine here if you mean people who make policy. But I mean, what's the alternative? Also, there are ways in which you can negate things like corruption, like Trump is doing. One, don't fire inspector generals. We could easily try and cover our like independently, make sure this doesn't happen without removing income tax. Voluntary relations with the citizens puts pressure on the government to be extra focused on good government policies and hiring professionals so people can respond by donating money. Why would you want to donate money? Again, Graham, the whole point of taxation is number one, redistribution of wealth. So we don't want people to redistribute wealth if they feel like it. The government supplies, creates, and protects your wealth. Without the government doing that, you have no money. It's worthless. Look at Somalia. I say that a lot, but I don't know how to say it any more clear. Take your Somali dollar over there and see which person's going to behead you sooner, okay? You don't need to worry about that here because it's protected and backed by the government. So the government wants to make sure that it's spending, that's you. The government runs a deficit, which means it pushes money into you. A deficit is good. A deficit means the government is not holding on to money. If the government were holding on to money, it's in a surplus, that means it would not be in your hands. It would be literally in a fucking warehouse. I did finish it. That hurts. You call me lousy? That hurts. That hurts. My feelings.
I wouldn't take that.
You take that. You take that back. Anyways, let's go back. We're gonna go back to the other thing, okay?
Finish up the Rob North thing, and then I gotta crash because I gotta wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm in streaming for like 4 hours too. So why don't let's finish the Rob North thing then.
And then I will send my raid to you unless you're ending, and then I will send it elsewhere.
I'm probably gonna end too. Although I don't even know how to address that, Grant. I'm sorry. Burden reversal. Rob pushes opponents to prove why Trump conduct is uniquely corrupt because it is evidentially like it's corrupt for so many reasons. You have that entire document you can use.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have tons of ammo for that.
Alleged DOJ concerns over bribes connected to Shulevsky then frames Shulevsky as a private telling a trusted business associate. That's something he does, I guess. Next one. None in this segment. Who cares? His concern is not Hunter Biden as a person. This is just Rob doing magic hand waving, spell casting, I think, to try and make him sound reasonable.
Well, I mean, honestly,
he points to Hunter Biden.
If you look at Hunter Biden and then you look at Jared Kushner, which is worse? By orders of magnitude.
He's a Jew. No, I'm kidding.
We got there.
Taxation's number one function, Grant, in modern monetary economies is redistribution of wealth. So when you say redistribution is not bad, then you should not be against taxation. I don't know what that means. Rob Sports, he cites the laptop containing name pictures and records that appear to be Hunter Biden's. Appear? Interesting. The 10% for the big guy email is allegedly confirmed by business associates. Allegedly confirmed? Huh? Tony Bobulinski. I refuse to believe it's a real. Tony Bobulinski. Dude, I'm fucking Tony Rigamaroli. Bobulinski. Devin Archer is another corroborating business partner. DN3 server CrowdStrike as a double standard. He argues chain of custody matters because OneDrive went through Giuliani or Giuliani linked actors. Oh. IRS whistleblowers were told not to ask about Joe Biden. Is a claim of his. I already know that one's not true either.
Yeah, I don't believe that's actually true.
Although apparently he was pretty good at arguing this one. Just to be clear, that's what it's saying. Cleanest early cross-ex target from Rob's side. So let's take segment 5. And if these voluntary relationships, constraints on the government, and consent produce worse outcomes that end up with less freedom and less economic mobility, would you still be in service or care about this ideal? Yes or no?
That's a good question.
Charlie Kirk killed himself. Fucking.
Who said that?
Fucking
Oh, Testy. Hey, what's up, my dude?
I'm so slimy. Is that an argument against me or an argument against what I said?
I think he's probably talking to Vigi, but I don't know.
I think he's talking to me.
Could
he's talking to me. So apparently this segment, by the way, like it says, seems like he argued this segment pretty well. Segment 5. So just did like a quick ask for it really fast. I actually don't know the exact details on. I've heard the argument before. I just don't know the exact evidence of it. Some Hunter Burisma Biden adjacent material created enough appearance of conflict to justify review or investigation. Fair version. So is a procedural point he makes, which makes sense, but there's not a lot of substance. So he's going to probably use the rhetoric behind it to show that conflict of interest seemingly is there. Kind of like when we ask or show things like which the conflict of interest with Trump and his hotels, people staying at them has already been proven. But if we had reports of people staying at Trump's hotels, and they were appointment seeking people, right? The procedural point similar to this would be, we should look into that. It seems like a conflict of interest. That doesn't mean substantively yet, though, that there is real people staying at Trump's hotel. So that's kind of what this is in a way. The difference is Trump has we have substantive evidence to show that he has literally charged 300% per diem at his properties for things like that, right? But this is Rob trying to, I think, hide the fact that the substance is that strong, but rhetorically use the, actually, there may be something there, and it sounds bad. So that's probably what he's going to do on this one. It looks like it comes from this Chokvesti guy or Chokvesti. Stupid Russian name.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that.
Training name.
Same.
And it seems like it all relies on this single individual. And the CHS claim is later attributed. I know who Smirnov is. Okay. So he lied to the FBI. All the substantive evidence for this is a lie. So the rhetorical point might still be there from Rob, where he says, hey, look at this. This needs to be investigated. And it seems that the substance behind it is not good at all. So if he brings this up, that's probably the route you want to go, is show or like try to explain to the audience that, you know, rhetorically, probably, you know, we could look into it and then move into the substance and be like, yeah, but what actually came out of that? Seems that he lied to the FBI and blah blah. Fabricated the story, right? Which is crazy. That's the one I was thinking of. So. But moving on. See how much further there is. Cycle 2. Institutions treat Trump-related suspicions aggressively. Blah blah blah. We're going to go into this one. Phase 2. The investigation didn't happen early enough because of the Biden-Burisma-Shokin conflict. I don't even know what that means. What did they do? Delete the emails and stuff that they say they already had? Doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
It is saying this is one of his strongest procedural arguments, though. It is disputed,
does
though.
not
So
mean
this
it's
is
strong.
another. This is another procedural thing he probably wants to pin down. So he points to investigation looking like it should happen, and then never talks about the actual substance about the investigation that's necessary. So pointing at the smoke and saying that's a big fire, and then when you get over there, there is no fire. It's a mirage. Is the best way to probably address that. The credibility of these people who lied to the FBI is right here. I guess he just blames the DOJ. So the line from Shokin's case and Oshienko means they weren't meaningfully interviewed. I don't even know what you're going to do. I would just... that sounds like fun. Okay, man. Fucking Christ.
Like, to ask for substantiation, to ask for proof of the claims, like, I already expect that I'm going to be asking Speakeasy to bring up fact checks. And so I'm going to need Rob to substantiate the claims if I can refute them.
Correct. That's probably the best way to go. But he's gonna wiggle around like a big fucking bass on your boat. You're gonna be like, fucking right. Fucking smack the neck or something, dude. Shut up. Full Burisma Shokin narrative. Talks about Hunter Biden's cock, I think. We're gonna move on.
A little bit more of that.
Devin Archer testimony in the meaning of call DC. I guess this means call your dad. Like it's that fucking Stranger Things meme with 11 with blood coming out of her nose. Like, call your guy. I guess Hunter Biden wanted the coke. They have good coke in DC. Government pressure, ordinary business pressure. Jim Jordan allegedly clarified the request concerned help from the U.S. government. Archer lately said Hunter called his dad. Rob argues it makes no sense for Zaleski to need Hunter to call Blue Star Strategies or other service providers because Burisma or Vadim could contact them directly. Well, funny thing about assumptions is that they're unfortunately fucking assumptions. So like it says here, he overstates Archer's testimony to use some ambiguity of what he wants it to be, I'm assuming. Yeah, this is just like a brain with wires everywhere where you're just trying to connect the dots. You know, you're building a puzzle with pieces you make. You're like, I'm missing pieces. Let me fucking make pieces and put it in. Tell him not to do that. Quit being a child. And then cycle 3, Rob has a procedural point, but a weak substantive point. This seems like he's going to focus on the Hunter Burisma Biden stuff a lot. He'll probably do that a lot. FBI did next to nothing. Whoa. Looks he was under investigation forever, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Now that I think about it. Now that I think about it.
They claim that it was slow walked, and like that may be true. And ultimately, he would have probably gotten about a 17-year sentence, if not higher. But Biden pardoned him, and that's the biggest thing Rob's going to complain about.
Whistleblower claims. IRS whistleblowers made serious allegations.
None of them substantiated. They just said they were forced to slow walk it. There's no proof that they were forced to slow walk it. It's contested.
I mean, are you going to believe a man named Bobolinsky, bro?
Not usually. If I can't pronounce your last name, I probably shouldn't believe you.
Okay,
Molly,
so
what's your last
again,
name? Joking. I'm joking. If it's Bobolinsky, I don't believe you're a real person.
Bobolinsky.
Bobolinsky.
It seems like Rob likes to argue the procedural stuff a lot, saying things like this warrants an investigation. There should have been an investigative process because of imagined smoke, maybe made up, maybe true at some points. But he's gonna have trouble trying to substantiate anything. So it sounds like that's gonna have to be one of your main returns, where you have to remember that he's gonna say a lot of wild claims, challenges, and you might have to steel yourself and be like, Rob, shut the fuck up. None of that, okay? Like, substantiated. Don't just tell me that you like fire. Laptop FD1023 is substantive bribery evidence. The laptop story was wrongly framed by many as Russian disinformation.
That happened.
I don't really know. I don't care. I do know that another man who raided the local DMV, like literally with a now convicted child sex offender, Mr. Matt Gaetz in Florida, waved that fucking hard drive in the air like he was probably actually held all of those young girls under 18 permits and driver's licenses, which he fucking scoured in the middle of the night on tape at a DMV. I do know he held that flash drive up in the air, Hunter Biden's laptop. By the way, that's real, by the way. Do you know that? Matt Gaetz is on video pilfering through a DMV's fucking license pool for like young teenagers. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah, I don't even see how we haven't gotten to a conclusion on that yet.
Well, his friend, the guy who's in the video with him, is in jail already.
Yeah, because that dude doesn't have the protection Matt Gaetz has.
Yeah. It's funny. Rob's best argument in this segment is given Hunter Biden's Burisma role, God, Ukraine's portfolio, whatever that means, the laptop materials, Hunter Biden's cock, later whistleblower complains, the government's handling deserves scrutiny. So procedural. All of this is procedural. And there is not a single substantiary point. And I feel like, yeah, there's no substantive evidence to support any of this. Or it fell apart. And there was plenty of money put into finding it. I think you're probably good after that, though.
Yeah,
probably just call here, eh?
Seems like a plan. I think I have a good idea of what to expect. But I kind of already did, but it just helps to re-bolster that and know where to put my finger and stop the record player.
Dude, just remember, Bobolinsky.
And
Bobolinsky.
Britannia Nanalewski and what was the other one? Papadopoulos. Yeah. We get all those, we hit the hits, Hunter Biden's cock, and away we go to the races.
I will literally pay you money if at some point you literally go, Rob, are you trying to sell me Hunter Biden cock pics?
I may take
I already
you up
bought
on
them.
that. Depending on where the conversation goes, I may actually accuse him of doing so.
Did you buy them? Are you subscribed?
So I'm gonna raid out now. Do you want me to raid to you and you just send out the raid, or what do you want to do?
Sure. I might play Dyson Sphere just for a little bit longer.
That works because I am crashing out at this point. It is time to go to bed, to wake up and do dragonflies.
Stop, bro. Your traps are already mad. You like can never have too big a trap.
All right, y'all. Have a good night. Molly, have the day you deserve. I appreciate all y'all in Circuit. Thank you for your time. It has been a blast. I have not talked about Hunter Biden's cock this much in my entire life.
Well, I'm trying to match Marjorie